US and Euro negative trade talks, the Brexit negative trade talks, the negative comments from the Bank of England is over. Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, possibly even good night, depending where you are in the world. Yeah, just let me get settled in here. Read some of these last few headlines. We still got a bunch of time. Um, I know I only do these streams twice a week, but when I do them, when I do run these streams twice a week, we do like run it for like 4 to 5 hours sometimes, right? So we will be watching markets until Asian session closed. The 4 hour candle closures around like 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. Eastern. So there's no rush. We'll be planning some trade ideas as we usually do across the main pairs we look at, as it says in the description, as well as in the chat comments. You don't need to call me Master Fritz, but good afternoon to you as well, my friend. How's everybody doing tonight? Man, Canada just extended the lockdown. Canada just extended, or like Ontario just extended the stay-at-home order now until February 22nd. But I was just gonna take a COVID test and then go to Mexico, which is cheaper and not that bad of a flight. I'm not good with airplanes, I got a big fear of airplanes. I don't know how they work, to be honest, so it scares me. But anyways, I got to get over that fear though, because I do want to travel around the world eventually at a certain point in my life. So I have to get over that fear of flying like airplanes, and it's just scary. If an airplane goes down, you're fucked. Like, what are you gonna do? It's over. You're done. Is the volume low? How's the volume and sound audio, everybody? Let's get an audio and visual check before we start jumping into our analysis. No, it's not like I'm anti flights or think like flying is not safe. Like I know the statistics around flying, and like how it's like there's more car accidents than there are like plane accidents, you know what I mean? But it's just a personal fear of mine. It's nothing like I'm against planes. I want to get over this fear so I could, travel the world and stuff without that anxiety. It's not like I'm against the technology, right? Okay, before we jump into it, for anybody who is new to the stream and is going to ask about if I have Instagram or my social media or want to get in contact with me, first of all, open your eyes and look at the stream layout. Okay, there's the Twitter, Telegram channel, and my Telegram username right at the bottom leftish corner of this YouTube stream. And now also on this little cool animated chalkboard that just came on your screen. All right. Feel free to ask questions about technicals, fundamentals, and overall markets as we observe them overnight. I would appreciate if you guys save the questions until after I do the analysis. Like I know, like as of doing gold analysis, people will be like, "G, GJ, GJ, GU, GU." I usually just go in like a order of starting with gold, then I'll do GJ analysis, GU, Euro USD, USD CAD, then US30. Of course, when we look at what economic events we have or any fundamentals that we may have that can impact the markets overnight. But I usually go in that order, so just be patient. And once we do the analysis and share the trade ideas across those main pairs, right? Then feel free to ask questions, or if you want me to look at a different pair, you can send the chart with the trading view link and anything along those lines, right? Any questions about the private channel or the paid capital hungry service? Again, save it for like after the stream, or just message me about it one on one. Let's just strictly keep this stream for the first few hours of it, just doing analysis, looking at the technicals, fundamentals, discussing any micro or macro economics. And then maybe if markets are slow or towards the end of the stream, we can banter and shoot the shit, roast, and do what we do. But for your news headlines, stream reminders, some analysis and charts, make sure you follow the Capital Hungry free Twitter and the free Telegram analysis channel where the links are there, and you can also see it here. Even websites like Forex Factory source our Twitter feed now because it's posting headlines throughout the day on a consistent basis. So even when we're not streaming, if you want to have like a pretty consistent news source, you can follow the Capital Hungry Twitter. Like it's already shit out 7,600 tweets since like October 2020. So it's pretty consistent. It's not as many headlines as the news terminal for private members, but for like a free resource, it's great, right? The Capital Hungry YouTube channel you guys are obviously on right now, and the Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis chat. And for anybody who comes in later, because a lot of people join these streams late, just tell them to rewind the stream if they want to see the contact info or if they want to see any of the trade ideas or analysis we shared on any of the pairs. Just so I don't have to I don't have to repeat myself, or we don't have to get distracted when we're actually looking to execute on trades. Just tell them, hey, you can always rewind the stream and see the analysis Jeev did at the start for gold, or see the contact info at the start. All right. So now we can just get into the important things. And I understand we are here to potentially risk some money in the markets for a reward. And that is always a fun thing to do that can give you a potential adrenaline rush, especially when you're trading in sort of like a social group and environment. But remember, trading the financial markets is no joke. We have to pay as much attention and focus on our trading psychology as we do on anything else. All right. So remember to stay smart, follow your trading plan, follow your risk management plan, focus on your long-term vision instead of your short-term satisfaction, and keep emotions out, or try to stay as emotionally neutral as possible. Don't be trading when you're going through a divorce, or you're going through some type of addiction, or you just failed an exam and you're stressed out. So these aren't good times to trade. The market's always here, but your capital may not be. So keep that in the back of your head and understand and have realistic expectations while you're trading these markets. Okay. As per economic events overnight, it's been a fairly slow week so far, in the sense we haven't had any economic events Sunday and Monday, and it's a pretty slow economic data report week overall. Like we have some Asia Pac holidays throughout the week, New Zealand holiday, South Korea, if I'm not mistaken, Japan, China as well later in the week. And just for tonight, we don't have any Euro or London, or sorry, we don't have any economic data through Euro or London session impacting Euro or GBP. We do have the US JOLTS job opening data at 10 a.m. Eastern through New York session. So overnight, we're primarily going to be focusing on some of the micro fundamentals, meaning the reactive headlines. If we get any high impacting headlines or anything we can see to digest as market fear or optimism on some of the pairs we are trading, we can use that volatility in our favor alongside price action and market structure. But other than that, we're just going to be watching price action, market structure, looking at some of the investor sentiment and behavior as we look at global equity markets and our safe haven currencies, and mapping out some trade ideas. Some of the key fundamental points to focus on as well are that global equity markets and investors overall are still very optimistic. And we can see that when our global stock markets across all regions are very bullish, but our safe haven currencies generally across the board, such as the US dollar, Japanese yen, and the Swiss franc, are still bearish. The volatility index, which is like a fear or greed indicator of the North American stock markets, has also been relatively flat, sitting back at previous lows and failing to break intraday highs, which we're going to look at in a second. We still have continued progression of the next US stimulus, and there's a continued flood of vaccine headlines over the weeks. Oh, you guys heard a beep? Was that GJ? That's probably an alert here. Let me turn the sounds off. In the private channel, like these, whenever a key level gets hit, an alert gets sent to the private channel. So you don't have to like continuously watch the charts if you're busy or if you're just waiting for a level. So let me turn the sound off on these alerts. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn the sounds off because we're gonna be watching the markets anyways overnight, and I'll put them back on. I don't even need the sounds. The sounds is just for me because the alert gets sent to the chat, and the sound is just for me whenever like because sometimes I'll be watching the charts, but I'm not actively watching or like looking for a trade every second. I'll have my key alert set, and then I'll be watching like a show or something. So when that beep goes off, it's really loud and obnoxious. You know what I mean? So like it'll wake me up, and then I'll go back and check out what's going on in the markets. But I'll just turn those sounds off for now. All right. So what I was discussing on those recent fundamental points is when you zoom out and look at the market structure and buyers versus seller strength on global stock markets, even though like UK markets are having a bit of correction, and this is the 1 hour chart, if you were to zoom out, you can still see that it's been extremely bullish with the support of their respected central banks and overall market optimism. So, one, you have the central banks flooding their markets through either government bond purchases, corporate bond purchases, their index ETFs. Like even like when I was showing you guys those Bank of Japan headlines and how they're like $100 billion in US dollars profit in their Japan index ETF buys and their stop losses at like 21K. Like they're openly saying these things, right? So we can see that investors are running with the central banks and running this greed train of overall market optimism. And we can see this when our global stock markets across the world are bullish from all those vaccine talks and the market fear being priced in. And a lot of our safe haven currencies, like the US dollar, I know the US dollar had this bounce from 6 year lows, but it's still relatively bearish overall, and especially the Japanese yen, and when we're looking at the volatility index. Okay, so we're going to be watching the dollar overnight on the 30-minute chart just to observe the price action to see if we can get some enough sellers pressure to break some of this intraday bullish market structure, because that would show me that the higher time frame sellers are jumping back into the market and that the US dollar is still heavily oversupplied and under demanded. So we could see a continuation down, which would show us obviously more of an upside move on like pairs like gold or GBPUSD, EURUSD, downside moves on USD CAD, for example, right? And you can see to the left, we still have continued vaccine headlines, and that's been a common theme we've been watching. So we're going to be watching the dollar's price action overnight. Right now, we're coming to retest broken bearish market structure and that bullish market structure and starting to create a bit of a technical support. If we do get a bounce here and see an intraday bounce on the US dollar, obviously this is going to impact the US dollar pairs that we trade. So we have to be very cautious about that when we're mapping out our trade ideas. What would be ideal is if we could break this structure and continue to the downside, showing continued market optimism through London and Euro session. But we'll be watching that price action accordingly. We can see we're just starting to slow down and consolidate at the retest of that structure point. So we're going to keep an eye on the dollar. Now, this is gold on the 4 hour chart. So let's start off with some gold analysis, okay? If you guys have been following along gold over like the last year, or let's just start off and quickly do this macro recap. So you can see the historical repetition. And I always repeat this to the private channel as well. So everything, no matter what the trading instrument, you see this similar structure in phase of markets having impulsive moves and then corrective phases, pullbacks, consolidations, whatever it may be. And whatever time frame it is, you can adapt these types of concepts. Like this same type of structure you're seeing on the monthly on gold, you guys have seen it on the GJ 1 hour in a bullish structure. You understand what I'm saying? But the reality of what's going on behind the scenes is when those buyers are extending those buys in this bullish market with those fundamental confirms of market fear, where in this case it was the 2008 financial collapse, which heavily increased the demand of safe haven currency, safe haven precious metals like gold. You saw this heavy inflation in price. Then years later, as you start to come in an economic recovery stage, those gold buyers also cash out and liquidate their positions, and sellers jump in to relieve them out of the market, creating this corrective or consolidation structure. And then you have a deeper correction and pullback to push price down to a better demand area that doesn't break the higher time frame structure. Where again, because gold has been bullish for so many years, and just has that value through history, you can see that we create this consolidation and support. And then as the trade war comes into scene, and then as you have all this uncertainty with the potential Iran war, the pandemic markets that impact gold supply and demand as well, you have this heavy inflation in the price of gold again, as well as like US interest rates were still extremely low, but a similar historical repetition to what you see here. As the pandemic markets have started to be priced in and economies are opening back up, and you have this flood of vaccine talks, you start to see gold supply and demand begin to regulate and enter this consolidation phase. So with the historical repetition, gold could play in this higher time frame range for an extended period of months before we see another very strong impulsive corrective move to the downside to drive price down to a better demand area for an extended period of months if we have any signs of economic recovery. Or if there's more market fear, let's just like talking shit. If COVID-19 turns to COVID-20 and it leads to another global lockdown, we would have a breakout to the upside and all that liquidity and order flow for a continuation to the upside. But what we can identify on the higher time frames is that when we're looking at the potential of historical repetition, we are in this similar state after the 2008 financial crash, where we've already seen this heavy extended move on gold to create new all-time highs, and we're seeing similar repetition in price action as well as that fundamental timeline where you have the mass market fear, it got priced in, now we're having more optimism, more vaccine talks, etc., etc. Gold buyers are starting to liquidate and exit positions, and we start to enter a consolidation or corrective phase. So for me to see gold playing this potential range for an extended period of months, I wouldn't be surprised, right? If we have economies fully open up globally, central banks start to increase their interest rate as economic data starts to rebound and people go back to work and vaccines begin to be effective, then we could start to see higher potential of buyers liquidating more positions, sellers jumping in, and having that economic recovery stage and price getting pushed down to a better demand area. But are we there yet? No, we're just in this sort of consolidation and higher time frame consolidation and historical repetition point. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So when we look at gold here in this corrective structure after peaking those all-time highs, we can see that gold has been slowly trending down, right? It's been in this pullback and corrective structure, okay? But what we can identify is we had this strong liquidity zone where we finally had a break to the downside here. All right. And you can also see we had a very strong rejection at this exact same price point and supply level, and price get pushed down to this demand area, which was previous lows. Now, if we were to continue in this bearish market structure, I would have wanted to see a new low get created when we had this seller's impulsive move. But instead, we pushed down to this previous low point in demand area and instantly had buyers jump back into the market with the US dollar starting to weaken, as this is gold against the US dollar at the end of the day, right? And what I also want you guys to look at is in this corrective structure, whenever gold sellers push price down to a respectable demand area, you can see that on an intraday perspective, there's pretty aggressive buy bounces if we don't break the previous low. right? Even when here a new low was created, we had aggressive buy bounces. Now here we're coming to retest that previous low with an aggressive buy bounce, and now we're retesting the low of that order block as well, right? When you come on the hourly, we're in a very significant decision point where if we snap back above this order block consolidation zone, whatever you want to call it, if price remains above these key previous lows, and this was just a liquidity grab point for the institutions at a better demand area, and we have continued US dollar weakness, there's a lot of potential for gold just to continue playing in this range and then potentially break out to the upside to mirror the move to the left. Alongside if the US dollar is weak and with how we've seen gold behave in this corrective structure, right? Now, we are scalping and intraday trading. It's not like we're going to be, that trade is going to potentially happen overnight now. What we want to look at is some of the key level respects as well as structure, okay? So what we can identify are these are higher time frame. We'll get rid of this. These are higher time frame historical key level points, all right? What is it, GU? Oh, GU just tapped a key level, that's why. Yo, these key levels are sick, man. I don't know why it changed like that. Yo, Max, shut up. That's probably because you're on Molly or some drug, so every sound is extra paranoid to you. The sound's not even on. It's not even on. There's no sound. It's not even on. There's no sound on this. Look, the play sound button. It must be a different pair. Listen, let that just wake you up a bit, all right? Half you man's lazy as shit. Just let that wake you up a bit. It must be some bad Molly, because my computer's muted. All right, but what I was saying is, what we can see on gold is when we're looking at the structure, this bearish market structure was being respected for pretty much all of last week, for 7 days, until NFP, where NFP caused that US dollar weakness and upside on gold off this demand and buy bounce area at 1789. We're also starting to break above that bearish market structure with a support and order block created, an extended move to the upside, where now I would only be really looking for sells below 1836, and that would just be to retest 1828 potential buys. If we pull back and respect 1836, I'm looking for buys up. Or if we pull back and break above 1844, I'm looking for buys up as well. And you can see this a lot more clear on the lower time frame with the structure that was being respected and the break of it as well. Okay. So you can see for the start of the week on the lower time frame, the rejection points you were getting at these bearish market structure and key levels, with continuous lows being created, then these consolidation phases and a continuous dips down, right? Then at the end of the week with NFP, we started to notice lower time frame bullish market structure forming and potentially corrective structure, but we broke above the bearish market structure and key level 1812, right? Creating some more defined bullish market structure and showing us a shift out of those sellers and more buyers jumping into the market. So now, obviously, gold, with how the US dollar is relatively flat, how we've printed new highs on an intraday and lower time frame perspective, and how the lower time frame bullish market structure is still being respected. I'm primarily looking for a pullback to 1836 and support created and buys up to 1844. A consolidation or pullback and failure to break those lows and buys above 1844. I'd only be looking for corrective sells on gold if we come below 1836, and that would just be to set up better risk versus reward buys at a retest of 1828 and then continuation up there, right? We can see the respect around the key levels and bullish market structure points where lower time frame supports get created, or we break out above a key level, then retest it. So it would be ideal with this following breakout and new high created to get that pullback to retest the key level and continuation up. And keep in mind, I know you guys are rushing some trades. It's only 2 a.m. right now. It's only German market open pre-London hours. It's not even London session. I haven't even given GJ analysis yet, you know. But if you guys, obviously, if you guys are following your trading plan, then whatever. All right, does that make sense on gold? Primarily in a bullish bias for a scalp and intraday perspective. I don't want to enter in the current little lower time frame range we are on now. I'd rather get a pullback to 1836 and watch price action and the reactions of buyers versus sellers to see if we can create a lower time frame support and then run buys up to 1844. Safer buys would be a pullback and then a breakout above 1844. I would only be looking for sells, and those would be corrective sells if we break below 1836, and that would be looking for a pullback to 1828, and then buys from 1828 if we fail to break here. Yeah, we don't have too much economic data. We're primarily just going to be watching some of the intraday structure on our safe haven currencies and the headlines to the left of your screen. All right, does gold make sense? And then we'll start breaking down GJ now. Gold, just to quickly recap, lower time frame bullish market structure, that higher time frame macro low and previous low failed to break and got bought up. US dollar showing some weakness, bullish lower time frame structure forming with current highs printed. I would like a pullback to 1836, lower time frame support formed and buys up, or a pullback if you don't feel comfortable taking those buys. The safer, less rewarding buys would be a pullback, failure to break, and then a break of these current highs pretty much above 1844, targeting 1850, 1852 again. I would only be looking for corrective sells if we have clean failures to break these current highs, a break below 1836, and that would just be looking for a pullback phase to retest 1828 for better risk versus reward buys at a retest of structure at that key level. Because if we don't have enough order flow at this current price point to break these highs, we're going to have one of two things to generate that liquidity. Either a consolidation phase and buyers jumping in the market and then having that impulsive move with the breakout of the high, or a pullback, a technical pullback where buyers exit position short term, sellers jump in, price gets pushed down to a better demand area, and then we have a continuation to the upside. Mac, you know what looks like a dick? Your trading history. Focus on that. All right. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that. Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on as well. That's why I said above that 1844 price point would be like the safest buys. because you break above that structure. And yeah, we're going to be watching the dollar movement overnight. We could see that just for pre-London hours. Right now, we're still in this little bit of a consolidation range. I want to see if we either respect this area and break above these candle body highs and have an upside push on the US dollar, which obviously is going to impact our gold buy bias and GU potential and EU buy bias. But otherwise, if we break to the downside of this consolidation zone and get another squeeze to the downside and break this bullish structure, then obviously those markets are still looking optimistic as we're seeing money come out of the safe haven currencies, right? GJ. Okay, so we understand and we have been watching how GJ moves, and it's similar to any other trading instrument where overall markets, with that market optimism that has kept our global equity markets bullish and obviously kept our safe haven currencies bearish, where the secondary in this quote is the Japanese yen. Since March, when we've had the pandemic markets priced in, we've had overall bullish market structure. At high points, we see buyers exit positions to push price down to a better demand area to create pullbacks, but these pullbacks don't break market structure, right? Even here, we had at this new high, this aggressive pullback. You could see this pullback pretty much went to retest that previous level. And then we had that Bank of England sentiment that provided even more optimism as they were talking about the potential for economic recovery, especially with the Brexit deal and with the potential optimism around all of the vaccines. So you could see we had that impulsive move. And now GJ buyers print new highs. Okay. But just because GJ is bullish and is printing new highs doesn't mean you can just start jumping in buys willy-nilly as a scalper or intraday trader, right? You have to understand what part of the phase you are in the structural trend or point, you can say it. And we can see here as we are printing these new highs, we're starting to see buyers exiting out positions and creating a pullback phase and corrective lower time frame bearish structure, right? So from this high point, we can identify buyers' exhaustion as we're having multiple failures to break these highs, and then we had an aggressive push down to retest these previous minor lows at 144.5. We had a bounce off this point that failed to break above 144.800. And now, even though it looks like we were starting to create a support above 144.5, we never broke above that previous high, and we just started to create a consolidation a bit above the key level, with now starting to get some candle closures below 144.500 and these previous 1 minute lows. Okay, so we can see that we have some significant areas of price sensitivity to observe overnight, where I'm not really in a safe bullish bias unless we were to come above 144.800 again. I don't really like all of this noise and consolidation on the lower time frame. What I do like is how we're starting to break below it, and what would be ideal through London Open when we're looking at some of these intraday candles and how they're closing is if we can get this 30-minute candle now to close and flip bearish, and the following 30-minute or the London Open candle to retest 0.500, we do have some potential for correction down to retest these previous highs around 144 flat, right? Because you can see that GJ on the intraday timeframes, even if GJ did an extremely aggressive meltdown to 143.200 and just saw price get pushed all the way down and this Bank of England move corrected, it's still very bullish on the higher timeframes. So we do have the potential when we're looking at the price action right now on the lower time frame and that transaction between buyers and sellers, that we are noticing that yes, GJ is bullish, but as new highs have been printed, buyers are liquidating positions and cashing out of the market. This is creating some bearish market structure and pushing price down to a better demand area, right? So for me, overnight, if we get a retest of 144.5 and we remain below, sell bias. If we get a retest in the lower time frame of these 1 minute lows, continued sell bias. I'd only be looking for GJ buys if we came back above 144.800, or as we push down and have our corrective phase on GJ here, like let's just say we have the pullback phase push all the way down to 144 flat. And then here we start to notice a flat candle body support being created, which shows us sellers exhausting out of the market. And we can identify that as a potential high risk buy area. The safer buy area would be identifying first that support and sellers exiting position and potential of that pullback phase coming to an end, and then a break of that corrective bear structure. So to visualize that, it would be like this. Let's just say we see this bearish market structure get extended all the way to 144. Price over the next few days or through the week just does this corrective structure and then starts to create a support at 144. This is your first signs of sellers exhaustion and that potential pullback phase coming to an end. But you would also need to break above this corrective bearish structure from a technical perspective to show you more buyers momentum, and this would be the safer buy area after that pullback phase. But the one thing as traders we have to understand and stay objective to is that the pullback phase can run 30 pips or it can run 300 pips, right? We could have GJ push down to 144.2, create a support and break structure now, and then buyers jump back in the market. That is something we have to understand from an objective perspective, that when you are counter trend trading the higher time frame, you have to understand and not start marrying a bias without a shift in structure. All right? Don't listen to Mac. I'm going to remove Mac's moderator privileges, don't worry, because he's saying too much stupid shit. This is what happens when he goes back on drugs, you know? We got to remove his moderator privileges. I like Mac when he was clean. Telling people to full margin, you know? Yeah, sometimes Mac's too childish. Anyways, like Mac should be paying attention here, so we could actually provide good analysis on his stream, you know, without me or Kerwin or Teddy to jump in. But anyways, now you can see that we're playing that corrective bearish structure. So it does look like we're going to print a new intraday low, possibly around 144.2. All right. So I'm more overnight when we're watching London session itself. We're going to be watching this corrective bearish market structure. And we're going to be looking for a retest of these lows, which we already got here, but we weren't looking at GJ, or a retest of 144.500 and then a continuation down. All right. Understand? You guys understand GJ though? What I was talking about between the buyers and sellers transactions. Even though a new high has been printed, we can see buyers are exiting positions and this pullback corrective structure being formed. So as intraday traders and scalp traders, it's good to potentially scalp this corrective structure until we get confirms of buyers jumping back in the market. And we have to watch it from an objective perspective, because we could see price get pushed down. We don't know where the favorable demand area is going to be for the big whales, right? We're not fortune tellers here. Price could come and push down and do an aggressive retest to these previous highs at around 144 flat. Price could come all the way down to these 143 to this demand area. That's something we have to watch objectively through price action, through the sessions, through day to day. Understand? Yeah, that's why I didn't want you to take GJ buys, Jazz, and wait for me to break it down, you know? So that's something we just have to watch objectively. We're not the banks. We don't know where that demand area, we don't know exactly what that demand area price is, but we can start to identify it. Like, let's just say GJ does push down to 144 flat, and we start to notice a support being created in that shift in structure. Those are our technical identifiers of seeing the shift in structure, which tells us that that was the demand area where more buyers are jumping in from that institutional perspective or from the people that actually move the market. Understand? Whoever you want to call them, one percenters, institutions, whales, whoever's got enough liquidity as a collective to actually move these markets, whatever, that's how we identify it. So more in that bearish bias with this lower time frame structure, and as we're starting to clear these previous lows with London Open, and or possibly even the new 30-minute candle in 13 minutes, I'd like to get a retest of this area 144.5, fail to break, like a potential order block like this formed, rejection candles, meaning like a mix of bullish and bearish candles in the 1 minute getting weaker, and then sellers jumping back in. All right. And when we're scalping or playing this corrective structure, you have to be in and out of the market fairly quick, because again, you're counter trend trading the higher time frame and you're playing this pullback structure. So what I mean by that is that retest is considered a retest, but we just missed it because we were doing gold analysis first. I would like another retest through the actual London session or London Open, but like that retest was a retest for a quick scalp on the 1 minute time frame, just nothing too crazy as we were not even in London session yet. But what I mean by that is, like, let's just say you were starting to notice this rejection and you get the break and retest in the lower time frame below 144.8 and you get the scalp down to the key level. The way gold or any pair or GJ behaves in this corrective structure is it's not having impulsive moves with massive amounts of liquidity to have like a 1 hour 50 pip or 100 pip candle, right? You're having these pullbacks that don't break structure, but price slowly creeping its way down. So if you're trying to marry a bias and swing trade this, when you initially came into the markets looking for scalps 10, 20, 30 pips, it can become extremely frustrating playing the counter trend trade or playing the corrective structure. So when you get your entries and you can play this corrective structure, like let's just say somebody took a sell at 144.5 and you got a quick 15 pips here as a scalper, you should be in and out of the market like that, right? You have to understand the style you are trading. Are you scalping? If you're scalping and that is your trading plan and your goals are designed around scalping, you're only meant to be in the market for a very short period of time, smaller ranges, 10, 20, 30 pips. 30 pips is huge for a scalp, right? And then you get out and then you're off the charts. Maybe you could still put your terminal away and observe price action if you want to develop your chart hours, but you're done. If you're an intraday trader, you might be taking entries and trying to hold them through sessions. Once you take you could use these lower time frame price action confirms to take your entries, but once you take your entries, you shouldn't be watching the chart every single minute. You already pre-planned that you were trying to hold to this 100 pip target, this 200 pip target. You were trying to hold through multiple sessions. Why are you backtracking or changing your plan now due to emotion? So understand how you trade, what you trade, why you trade, and take as much control in your trading as you can. Okay. Before we jump into GU analysis, the only way we're taking GJ buys is either price pushes down to a better demand area and creates a lower time frame support, or we get a shift out of the market structure. If we get buyers jumping back in the market and let's just say a break above these 1 minute highs in bullish structure, then I would start taking buys from like where we're currently sitting. I wouldn't want to just start jumping in buys with how we've been ranging and slowly making our way down and having this corrective phase. Let's just read some of these headlines to the left before we jump into GU. India Central Bank, we don't care about that. COVID, UK Environment Secretary. Vaccines work on the Kent variant. What's the Kent variant? The UK one? South African variant is less contagious than the Kent variant. Looking to see if we can strengthen testing during quarantine. International arrivals, no final decision on taking testing. Still not really anything too high impacting. All right. Now, GU is a little bit different because how flat the US dollar has been and how we've already just started printing new highs, right? So GJ is showing us a bit more exhaustion as new highs have been printed to show us a potential pullback, but we're going to be watching that price action and structure accordingly to see if we get a shift in structure. Because right now we are in this stage. We created a high, we're starting to get some pullback in corrective structure. We created a high, we're starting to get some pullback in corrective structure. But we don't know if that corrective structure is going to run 50 pips, if it's going to run 30 pips, or if it's going to run 80 pips or 100 pips. That's something we have to identify objectively as we watch price action, right? But from a structure standpoint, we can see something very, very similar here with overall bullish market structure on the higher time frames from that Bank of England support and that weakness in US dollar. What we can also see is we are clearing above previous highs. And GU was in this consolidation range, generating liquidity, not breaking market structure for a period for almost the entire month, right? As well as we are banking on that potential continued US dollar weakness. It would have been ideal if we could get a retest of these previous highs around 1.375 and then a continuation to the upside. As we're starting to form some lower time frame bullish market structure as well. And we're starting to form a support above our key level 1.377. So GU isn't moving the same in the lower time frame right now as GJ. We can see that this lower time frame bullish market structure from this was the Bank of England point. All right. You can see from this point we created a high, had a pullback to a lower time frame demand area and pushed to create a new high. If we break below our key level at 1.377, I see a potential scalp down to retest 1.374 and that bullish market structure, and then potential buys from here. Or if we just start to consolidate as we're getting a reaction at these new highs being printed, I would wait for that consolidation phase on the 1 minute to end and also a break above these current highs. All right. Right now, we can see that we're still getting that continued dollar weakness, which is what we wanted. We're starting to break below this range. It'd be ideal if we get a more aggressive bearish candle close. Huh? What are you guys saying in the chat? Bring Mac back? Bring Mac back where? All right. If you guys want me to, it's either. Wait, what? The Capitol? Storm the Capitol? Oh, to the wrench. Oh, the moderator. No, man. Why you're begging too much for it. This man that desperate. This what you guys are talking about? The YouTube moderator? Says he feels naked. Alright, fine. You guys choose. Either Mac runs this stream and I get off and I'll give him the moderator, or we keep it as it is, keep Mac without a moderator, and I continue to give analysis. Now you guys make the choice. How about that? Is a choice. How about that? You want Mac to run the stream and be the moderator, or do you want me to keep it as is? Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh wow, that really changed now, eh? Everybody's fucking sorry, Mac. I'm just kidding around, man. You guys are jokes. All right. Does GU make sense though? With that US dollar weakness, we can see that this lower time frame bullish market structure since this Bank of England sentiment point, we've been seeing lower time frame highs printed, pullbacks to retest structure, and failures to break. So we could either potentially wait for the break below 1.377, take that 30 pip scalp down to retest 1.374, and look for better risk versus reward buys here, or the breakout buys above 1.379. Cool. Cool. GJ is not looking the same right now on the lower time frame as GU. GJ looks like it's more in corrective structure in the lower time frame. It's slow, but it's still slowly making its way down. GU could give us that sell play for 30 pips, but it's respecting more lower time frame bullish structure with that dollar weakness, and we haven't seen buyers exhaust yet. We've already identified, like, we had this bullish market structure on GJ since that Bank of England sentiment as well, right? From here, you can see that we were continuously printing highs, but we started to notice more buyers exhaustion at this 144, 145 point here, where you can see they were failing to break this area multiple times, and then the buy bounces started to get significantly lower and lower. So GJ looks like it's entering a corrective stage already, while GU, we haven't seen that buyer's exhaustion yet. It looked like we were starting to get it here, similar to GJ, but instead we created this order block and broke out to the upside with that US dollar weakness, and we've just had a new high printed. So not in the in a similar structure on the higher time frame, but not in the exact same phase in the lower time frame, based on that US dollar waving off that strength towards the end of last week and starting out this week fairly bearish as well. So I'm just going to zoom in on GU here. You guys understand what we're looking for? Do you want me to type it out, or you guys can always repeat it to each other in the chat, right? If we break below 1.377, where we've seen this rejection here as a higher time frame key level, there is that potential corrective scalp of roughly 25 to 30 pips to retest previous highs and our lower time frame bullish structure. If we create a lower time frame support here, an order block similar to this, that's better risk versus reward buys up. And if we break below, if we have that pullback and then break below these previous highs, that's the safer buys with more confirms but less rewarding. Only long-term corrective sells if we have multiple rejections at these highs and a break of this lower time frame bullish structure and start to form corrective bear structure similar to GJ. But otherwise, right now we're just starting to notice reaction at these new highs printed, but not any real signs of exhaustion just yet. And it is 2:30. These are new 30-minute candles opening up. UK Environment Secretary says we had 1 or 2 teething issues over fisheries still. I thought this shit was done. I'm just going to keep it zoomed in on the lower time frame so we can watch the price action as we come to this area. Gold, same idea. Gold, we're failing to break the current highs, so I do see potential for a potential pullback. Otherwise, the safer buys are still if we break above 1844 to 1849 and 1852. But what would be ideal for me is a sweet spot failure to break these highs, come below 1836, and a nice sweet spot pullback to this crosshair point of that 1828 key level and bullish market structure. But we could just consolidate, generate order flow, and then break to the upside where we'll take those 1844 buys. But with that dollar weakness and those macro dips getting bought up on gold in the current lower time frame structure, I would only really be looking for corrective sells below 1836. Big ball, if you got big balls, if you have a heavy sack, high risk sells would be if we fail to break these highs at London Open. If London Open pushes up and doesn't break these 1 minute highs and we get rejection, that would be heavy sack sells. Yeah, you can send a chart. Yeah, heavy sack. But I told you guys the safe trades. Where's your chart, Mac? Man, what do you want? I can't see you anymore, Mac. You look like everybody else in the. I didn't see. I'm sorry about that. Gold. Yeah, 1844 buys safe, or the 1828 bounce I'm looking at, because I'm looking at look at that too, right? When you look from this dip point, you had this aggressive impulsive push and a high printed, and sellers jump back in as we failed to break that structure, but another higher low printed, right? And then we've slowly been creeping in that structure. Here we finally had a very strong impulsive move where if we could get exhaustion at this area and a more aggressive pullback and we don't break this point, there's still a nice higher low for gold buyers at that demand point to jump back in. Or of course, if we just consolidate, because gold could always just do this type of price action where it could start to consolidate in this range, generate liquidity, and then break out to the upside. So I'm either looking for a next higher low on the intraday time frames and better risk versus reward buys. But what I'm saying is, as a scalper or intraday trader, right? Let's just say you want to counter trend trade, whatever it may be, that's your preference. If we fail to break these highs and then come below 1836, you can scalp or intraday trade that play from about 1836 to 1828. But you have to be very cautious as you're playing those pullbacks or corrections. Because if you don't cash out your positions and buyers jump back in from that better demand area and higher low point, you will get swept out. But yeah, Matt, thanks for putting a chart of exactly what I said on my gold analysis. Except you changed the price point. This guy changed one price point. I said my key level's at 1836. This guy said, hey, "What a dickhead, yo! Look at this guy." I said 1844, 1843 or 44. He said 1842. I said 1836. Yeah, he said 1837. Like, what's the difference? Tuesday, you're gonna say the same shit with 110. Fucking man changed the man's trying to make his own key levels, eh? By a 10 pips difference. What a dick, yeah. But right now, we're just in this little bit of consolidation where if we can break out above 1844, we will get a nice squeeze up, all right? How do we know you didn't copy back? Fuck, man, you're right. You don't know. All right, when we're looking at GJ price action here, what time is it? we have 25 minutes until London Open. This is starting to show me a little bit of seller's exhaustion. I'm not saying GJ is bullish just yet. We are starting to see a little bit of a lower time frame support being formed, where we could get that pullback to 144.5 or this bullish market structure, a bearish market structure. Sorry. I would only be looking for safe scalp buys if we broke above 6.5. This would be like a high risk scalp buy area for a retest. But I know how you guys like to do that shit, you know. And GU just ranging. We're gonna be waiting for a clean price action confirms in the lower time frame through London session. French Health Minister Véran considering vaccine other than AstraZeneca COVID vaccine. Yo, how many? You know how many vaccines I can name off the top of my head? I can name more vaccines than I can name McDonald's items on their menu right now. Fam, Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, AstraZeneca, Sputnik V. Fucking yeah, that's like 5 right there. Yeah. You know how many? Where all these? India's got a vaccine. China's got a vaccine. Biotech. Moderna. Where the fuck? And you think about this, guys and gals, logically, right? That's like 6 vaccines right there that are still going through testing. Yes or no? Yes or no? There's 6 different vaccines that are still going through testing. But 100 million people already got vaccinated. So it's like if you had a video game come out in a beta version and it was like version 1 and it had all these bugs and they're like, yo, by the way, everybody who bought version 1, we're sorry, there's way too many bugs, we're coming out with V2. But in this case, these people already got pinned. 100 million people. They just keep coming out with new bug fixes, updates. Oh, by the way, that last vaccine, it was causing some seizures. By the way, AstraZeneca's, it's not as good as we thought. And as they're going through this testing process, as they are going through these different vaccines, trying to get approval and compete for who's going to be the main vaccine, 100 million people already got vaccinated. There was only 100 million COVID cases. Yeah, new normal's right. Government's gonna be coming out with microtransactions, DLC. You need DLC to get the next vaccine update. It's fucked, right? And when you think about it logically like that, and you think about it like within months, we've had COVID. I know COVID's like a flu variant. It's not like HIV or it's not like cancer. I know cancer is obviously um, a lot more complex, and these other diseases are a lot more complex. All right, fine. From a scientific perspective, from a medical perspective, this is just a variant of the flu where there are a lot of other vaccines that they could sort of work off of and etc right? But what is it? Yeah, see how still it came to retest that 1 minute low still. We're still waiting for London Open. But within months, you've had about 10 different countries come out with 10 different vaccines. How come we didn't have this much pressure on cancer research? Or fucking obesity? Or like a lot of these autoimmune diseases like lupus or HIV? Right? Or like some of these regular flus. How come there hasn't been this much research and pressure on removing like smoking? Like, think about how much shit smoking and alcohol causes, because it's all money, right? There's been so much pressure in rollout and production and speed with these vaccines that it's crazy to think that there's been funding and charities for cancer research for fucking decades, but we're still doing chemotherapy, which is from what, the 1950s chemotherapy. I don't think there's really, I'm not an expert on the cancer side, but I personally don't think, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, from a general masses perspective, that there has been that much innovation in cancer treatment or technology um from that 1950s point. Like, yeah, technology's gotten a bit better, but they're still doing chemotherapy with all the millions and millions every single year that they generate in fucking, right? So it just doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. You feel me? It doesn't make sense, but it does make them sense. It's just a money business. It's just a money game. It's just more demand for big pharma. Big pharma got blown the fuck up in a good way with this whole pandemic, right? All right, guys, Euro USD. Now, similar idea on Euro USD. This is the 4-hour chart on Euro USD. Ever since the COVID crash, hmm? Ever since the COVID market crash, the US dollar has been relatively flat as the Feds have quote unquote printed more US dollars, even though it's just like it's just a digital number that they edit. You know what I mean? It's not actual printing. If people actually think there's that many, like they open these printers, that's stupid. But it's a good way to visualize it, I guess. It's just a digit they edit on. You get what I'm saying? But as the US dollar got heavily oversupplied and undervalued, and we entered this economic essentially recovery stage with this vaccine headline, a flood of vaccine headlines and central bank support for the respected economies, we can see that. Oh man, I should have made it back to yellow. We can see that we have been primarily respecting bullish market structure on Euro USD, where we have extended highs, buyers exit positions to create consolidations or pullback phase, and then continuations to the upside, right? From this high point, we saw intraday bullish market structure break and bearish market corrective structure start to form from an intraday perspective to retest this demand area, which is previous highs. US dollar is still relatively flat. Global stock markets are still bullish, showing us that investors are still very confident around the world and extending those greedy buys, which you can see here, like on the German stock market, and every region across the world. And obviously, we're looking at the U.S. dollar still pretty bearish, like on a higher time frame perspective. Be cautious of how the U.S. dollar is still in this range right now, though, when we're looking at it on the lower time frames. But anyways, so you can see that we've had, as buyers exit out positions at these highs and we had sellers jump back in to push price to a better demand area, we failed to really break the higher time frame structure. We had like a minor break, nothing significant, and we went to retest that previous high price point with buyers jumping back in. Okay, now when we start to zoom in though, what I want to look at, sorry about that, what I want to look at is this. We are still respecting this corrective structure where we've had these lows printed, whatever way you want to visualize it, okay? Like we've had from this high point and corrective structure, sellers jump in the market, you had a pullback, failure to break structure, and a lower high created, and then a new low printed. So right now, around this price point is a very, very significant area. If we have US dollar strength overnight, when we're watching the dollar index. Like if we fail to break this order block low and have that pullback to the upside like we're talking about, and we break these candle body lows, there's a lot of potential for EU sells from this price point if we don't break the bearish market structure. Understand? Because yes, we had a very strong bounce already with that short-term US dollar weakness from the retest of previous highs and our higher time frame key level. And we've started to notice lower time frame bullish market structure developing. But we are coming to a very strong previous price sensitivity area, as well as retest of a bearish market structure on the intraday. We can see on the lower time frame, we're starting to create an order block here as well. I would only be looking for safe sells on Euro USD below 1.2074. If we have US dollar strength, failure to break bearish structure intraday, break below 1 minute order block, I can see that potential for sell scalps down. Otherwise, if at London Open we come to revisit these 1 minute lows, fail to break, and then come above 1.2084, then we're continuing the buy bias. All right? Understand? Right now, EU is ranging on the lower time frame and at a very key decision point on the intraday. Any questions in the chats? Am I vaccinated? No, I'm not vaccinated. The impeachment have any effect on the dollar? I don't think so. I think a lot of that has already been priced in from the initial rumors. GJ still starting to show that exhaustion just a bit below the key level. It looks like London's going to give us that pullback. Gold, we're just watching it react at these previous highs right now. Jeeves sounds like a Bloomberg article. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm here to make money and have a good time. Can you provide? I'm wearing my Fruit of Loom Lucky t-shirt. Yeah, sure. Can I have my wrench back? Mac, take it easy. Holy man. May I have my wrench back? Oh my god, take it, man. Daniel Savage's trash. Don't join his mentorship. That's up to you guys. Can Bitcoin replace the dollar long term? No, it can't. No, on the 1 minute, it didn't break these low points we were talking about yet, right? We're starting to show us exhaustion here. It's just consolidating right now. Don't forget the economic events. If you're trading in New York, we don't have much overnight tonight. How many trades a week do I take? It depends on what's available through some of the main pairs I look at. I'm trying to not scalp as much and more wait for higher time frame or intraday trades and just take like one nice sizable trade on that. So usually 2 or 3 setups. Yeah, we gotta do US30 analysis still right now. Don't forget some of your recent fundamental points. If you guys enjoy these streams, want me to do them more often, make sure you like and subscribe, share it around, like Max said. Don't forget your mental reminders as we come into London session to set up on some potential scalps. The higher time frame price points are based on fiscal year, quarterly, and 1 month periods. Gee, fundamentally, are there reasons why price retest certain structures? Yeah, I was talking about it for like the last 30 minutes. You have buyers. Oh, fuck, never mind it. It's fucking never mind, man. Fucking mouth is tired of saying the same shit, you know? Sometimes. It's fucking never mind. Well, we're gonna look at USDCAD and US30 in a second. Sorry, let's see here. Just to quickly summarize, if you're in a bullish trend and you're pushing up and buyers were in from these lows and they cash out positions and sellers jump in, price does a retest to a better demand area that's more favorable for buyers to jump in or consolidates. I've explained this concept in theory of buyers and sellers transactions and cashing out of the market and demand areas and how the market moves probably like 100 times, probably 1,000 times, to be honest. It's crazy how much you can say, you know. If we get the buys above here, we're watching up to key level, which isn't that great of a range, 15-20 pips, and if we break above there, then we're extending up. But otherwise, the sell range is like 1.204. Yeah, I forgot to take a look at the other guy's chart first. Okay, euro against the US dollar. Is this a trend line valid? Yes, it is. That's exactly what we were talking about. If you just, Mr. Danny, if you rewind the stream literally like 5 minutes when I start looking at EU on the intraday structure, this is the key decision point that I'm watching around this area. That's why if we reject this area and come below that and have these confirms right here, if you read here, if you read here, if we have these confirms, if we have US dollar strength overnight, if we don't break that bearish structure and price point, if we break these 1 minute lows and break out or break and retest, then I'm looking to start taking sell scalps down and potentially watch price action as we can have some more corrective structure. I would only take buys if we remain above that structure and above 1.2087 with dollar weakness. Right now, dollar's fairly indecisive, but yeah, same idea if you want to rewind this. What is the best YouTube video for a trader to learn your style? I don't know, probably all of them. What do you think? I upload 30-minute videos and stare at a brick wall? Every single video, every single one of these live streams, every single one of the webinars on my YouTube, whether it's 15 minutes or 3 hours, I'm usually talking through it the entire time. Sometimes it might be banter, sometimes it might be some random shit in the streams, but most of the time it's either analysis, trade ideas, fundamentals, news, economic data, price action. Understand? So people really have to put the time and effort in yourself and use the resources that are at your disposal. AUD USD, I am more in a bullish bias from the higher time frame perspective. This is my AUD USD analysis that was given to the Capital Hungry private channel last month. So AUD USD on January 20th, this was the analysis. We were looking for first sells below 767 and then buys off 076. This is like higher time frame intraday swing trade analysis for the private chat. We were only going to look for higher time frame sells if we broke below 076. Otherwise, this was a great key decision point where if markets are still optimistic to buy in this area, right? So right now, You can see that the AUD higher time frame, the sells played out for 90 pips, and we had a great intraday support created at 0.76 for 136 pips. Right now, where you're talking about this bearish market structure, we are starting to react at also a key level I have marked out on Australian a dollar against the US dollar at 0.773. I can see, similar to EU, that if we don't break this area, we can get a pullback down to 0.76 or down to this bullish market structure again. But from a higher time frame perspective, I'm still in a bullish bias on AUD USD as long as we're above 0.76. But as per what you're talking about for a potential trade overnight, when I'm looking at AUD USD at this next higher time frame key level, we are getting some solid exhaustion, which could give us a pullback. But I don't want you to get caught where we could have a pullback and you don't close your trade and then we continue back up. So just watch the ranges and price action accordingly, because US dollar is still a bit weak, and we could get that pullback on like AUD USD. But if we don't break structure, we will just get buyers jumping back in the market and a continuation to the upside. All right. Anybody still in the private chat take those AUD USD higher time frame buys or sells? Or the G, look at this too. Look at this GBPCHF analysis. So this was that AUD USD analysis, higher time frame, right? You can see we came below 0.767 and came to 0.76 and then had the buys up. So that's running great. This was GBP CHF higher time frame analysis. That was given on January 12th. Pullbacks to retest structure, buys, 208 buys, 216 buys, high target 238, right? Bam. On the dot. Do I write any scripts or pre-notes for these streams? No, I just wing it. I don't do any notes for any of my webinars. And then this was the Euro AUD analysis that we sent. This was the Euro AUD higher time frame analysis that was sent on the 21st. Only would take buys if we broke the structure. Otherwise, if we still have Australian dollar strength short term, which we did get from the RBA sentiment, we were looking for sells from key level 1.588 down the ranges with safer sells below 1.56. You can see we pulled back to 1.588 on the dot, failed to break structure, and those sells are up like 250 pips for like intraday and higher time frame analysis. Be nice to Mac. He got rid of Paul. He took out Paul's stream. Ask Mac who's the one who told him to do that stream to take out Paul. I saw Paul was at his most vulnerable. You know what I mean? So I told Mac to start Asian streaming to be like the final stab to get Paul to stop streaming. Who do you think made Mac's stream layout? Does it look similar to mine? I know, Vikram, that this is somebody else's analysis. I'm still in a AUD buy bias, like I showed you here on the higher time frames, right? I want us to go all the way back up to previous highs and break new highs and then extend these buys. But we are getting a reaction at our higher time frame key level. Yeah, I used Mac. Mac knows I used them. Mac knows I 100% used him and what his purpose was. Yeah, after that, once Mac started streaming, Paul never streamed again. If you guys noticed, he didn't stream the same days, and then he fully stopped streaming. He's probably about to. I'm a backstabber. What is that? When people find out you trade forex, do they tell you it's a scam or gambling? No, I don't tell people I trade forex. I tell people I trade currencies, commodities, and index, and then they go, "Holy fuck, you're smart." If you tell people you trade forex, then they think you're a marketer in IML. But I don't just trade forex. if you guys look at all the information I provide you and all the information I look at financial markets. These are the global stock markets, right? This is gold, a precious metal. I'd be watching the price of oil day to day to see how oil's moving, which is really dependent on optimism, supply and demand. You know what I mean? Like I watch overall global financial markets, not just forex. So so when I tell them, "Oh no, I actually trade currencies and commodities," they go, "Oh, what the fuck? That's fancy." Forex, the term forex, even though it's just short for foreign exchange, through social media and marketing has become extremely saturated and connected to like signals, scamming, IML. You get what I'm saying? So I don't really I use it in the title and shit and just to say it quick, but like publicly or if anybody asks what I do, I say I trade currencies and commodities. Trading with ICE. Yeah, after this, I'm gonna do some USD CAD analysis. Yeah, after we're gonna do USD CAD then US30 because US30 keeps printing new highs. I'm not. How many times did I tell you guys don't sell US30? Just wait for a pullback and buy. How many times? How many times have I said just wait for a pullback? And I don't even have levels above. I'm going to 30. Like the next level I would go is 31,500 flat. That's what I was planning next. But yeah, you can't fight the Federal Reserve. We're gonna look at that in a second. Let me look at this person's chart first. Is there a relation between gold and oil? Nah, not necessarily. Besides the fact that the ones we trade are both essentially against the U.S. dollar or traded in the U.S. dollar because the U.S. dollar is the petrodollar as well. Christopher, you are looking for sells. Sells. It looks like. So first of all, are you just scalping? What are you looking for? Are you looking for 10 pips, 20 pips? Are you looking for 100 pips? Was this when you're talking about you missed your entry? Were you talking about this? Like, do you were you just looking to take a quick scalp here from like this little break and retest on the 1 minute down 15 pips here? Yeah, now I would be watching around 0.500 reactions at London Open. And of course, safer sells would be below this order block. Because this order block, even if we break below for what you're looking for, 10, 15 pips, whatever it may be, we're looking to target if we break below this order block to 0.200, right? Let's see some of these headlines. Pakistan approved. See, like Pakistan just approved Russia's Sputnik V vaccine for their country for emergency use. Everybody that's gotten vaccinated in every single country has been through emergency approval. None of these vaccines are 100% tested or effective and have gone through the entire approval or legal process. Because of the pandemic, they've all been approved in various countries for emergency use. So just like people in Euro have taken the emergency approved Moderna or Pfizer or whatever it may be, now Pakistan as a country is approving Russia's Sputnik V vaccine for emergency use. Right? What program? Last question. How do you learn so much? What resource do you use? Your knowledge is so vast. Wow, that's the nicest compliment I heard in a long time. I think it's just through like if you go through this Capital Hungry analysis channel and you go through the first post, right? This channel was created April 2019 for free. This was a free channel. Like some of these posts have like 3,000, 2,000 views. before I was even comfortable with the fundamentals, I was already diving into studying price action like this is my analysis from like 2019, right? So this process of studying the markets and analyzing the markets from a buyer's and seller's perspective, key levels, market structure, fundamentals has been on repeat since late 2018. Mid 2018. In 2019 I created this free analysis channel. It has like 4,500 subscribers in it. Every single day, every single week, I was doing analysis on various pairs, reading about, like, this is when I was taking trades that were like penny lots, right? Right? This is when I was taking trades in penny lots. Every single day, you can see I was sharing trades on gold, doing analysis on different pairs, looking at market data, doing predictions on NFP, watching how NFP impacted the markets, watching how different fundamentals impacted the markets, reading news headlines and seeing the market impact. This is when I was like, this is when I was still trading and making, like, instead of making thousands of dollars a day, I was only making $400 a day or $1,300 a week trading penny lots, making $5 a trade, $10 a trade. This was when gold was at 1,200. Holy fuck! Wow! Whoa! This is when gold, boys. Imagine I just held one gold buy from 1,200. Fuck my life. This is when gold was at 1,200 days. That's crazy, right? But anyways, you guys get the idea. I was following this approach to the markets, reading about trade war drama, watching the impact on the markets it has, sharing my ideas to everybody else every single day, every single night, day after day, month after month. Trades I was taking, trades like me, I was never shy to tell anybody, hey, I had a sell limit that missed, or I'm looking to take a point 0.2 lot or a point 0.1 lot. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people are shy to share their penny lots or whatever they're taking or whatever they're doing. So even before I was paying for a $20,000 news terminal, even before had as much experience or knowledge as I do now, I was still going through watching the fundamentals and technicals of the market and doing analysis, sharing my penny lot trades, looking at interest rate data, sharing AUD information. Like, this isn't anything crazy. It's a point 0.1 lot. But it's the process. Look at the fucking entry based on fundamentals. CH private members remember our AUD news trade days. Those were the glory days. CHOG members remember the news trade days. Right? So anyways, fundamentals, technicals, analysis, Euro CHF, looking at the pair, doing analysis from 2008, looking at fundamental impact. So when somebody asks me, hey, Jeev, how did you get to the point you are? There's been 3 years of nonstop repetition. I don't know what that sushi pick was, making fun of some marketer. There's been 3 years of repetition showing the penny lot trades I'm taking, why I'm taking that trade, the fundamentals I'm looking at, reading about NFP, saying, hey guys, this is my perspective on it. There's been 3 years of all this continuous repetition following Brexit, looking at global stock markets the same way I am now. Have you put in that same time and effort? Fuck no, you haven't. Asking people, does this make sense? This is fucking April 5th, 2019. Consider the volatility of Brexit and potential dip lower due to the economic volatility and the riskier setup. Like, you get what I'm saying? Man was already smart. Not actually, but I was already putting in that work day in and day out. And remember how I showed you guys I made this chat in April 2019? Everything I'm scrolling through right now, is 5 days. You could scroll through this chat for a year and see everything I read, everything I studied, everything I shared, trades I took, penny lot trades. So now, when I come to recent times, right? When I come to recent times and I share $9,000 profit and taking 5 lot trades, what's the surprise? What's the surprise when I can say, hey, I'm done for the week. I took these trades, the same trades I used to take with penny lots. Now I'm taking with 5 lots. The payout's bigger. I used to make $400 in the day. Now it might be more or less, depending on what's available in the market. Right? I can show all the trades and say, here's 13K. Only gold trades. These are the losses. The biggest win I took was 4,000, 2,000, 2,000. The biggest loss I took were 800, 700. Focusing on the risk management, going through that process of trial and error, 3 years of trial and error and studying the markets and studying myself. And not just studying it by myself, sharing it with everybody. Saying, hey, this is what I think about NFP. This is what I'm seeing tomorrow. This is what look at Brexit, guys. This is a week. This is only 5 setups, multiple positions. When you look at the entry prices, they're at the same entries. Right? So when somebody says, oh, Jeeve trades 10 lots now. Jeeve trades 5 lots now. That's why he makes more money when he's scalping. Oh, he made $5,000 trading. Oh, he's demo. He's this. He's that. Nobody said shit to me when I was at the start of this channel showing pennies. How come nobody said shit to me then when I was showing penny lots like I just showed you guys? Nobody remembers the process when I was working a full-time job, 12 hours, 3 days a week, when I had a business with my cousins, when I was like going to the gym, in a relationship, and still studying the markets every single hour I could get. Nobody said shit to me then. Nobody said shit to me when I was losing, going through trial and error. But now everybody's curious about how I know so much. Oh, Jeeves copying somebody else. The Jeeves fucking scamming. Jeeves like it's bullshit, etc., etc. No, man, the work and time has been put in over a year. And nothing's changed to this day. What's changed to this day? In the Capital Hungry private channel, every single week, I'm still doing market updates, analysis, still looking at market sentiment and global equities, still looking at the price of oil, gold, still looking at and doing our weekly economic events, our weekend news. The only difference is now Capital Hungry has its own news terminal. I don't use any external sources. Now, with the point I've gotten, it's a good investment for me and Capital Hungry to pay that 25K. We have our own news terminal now. The economic data, I don't check Forex Factory. It gets sent to the private channel before Forex Factory. No one was there during very few people were there during the process. A lot of people started with me but fell off or didn't want to continue. Understand? So when somebody asks how I've learned so much or how I got to where I am, these big ball, anybody take big ball sells, those big sack, heavy sack sells I was talking about? Right? Capital Hungry for free here. You have all of these webinars and streams. This is a year ago where I was doing podcasts on trading psychology and the mistakes I've made and what I've learned through those mistakes. Where I was doing AUD US. This is when videos had 200 views. It's not like I get a lot of views now, but I was always sharing information and sharing what I was learning and trying to collaborate with others before I was even had anybody following me or like, you know what I mean? You have psychology webinars, full pair breakdowns, analysis across pairs, across commodities, across different concepts. So yeah, after 3 years of trial and error and studying the fundamentals and economies and combining that with the technical impact on the real-time charts and learn and back testing higher time frame key levels, back testing these lower time frame strategies. Obviously, yeah, I might be a bit. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not financially free. I'm not like some hedge fund owner. I haven't been trading the markets for a decade. But if I'm here now after that 3 years of work, imagine where I'm gonna be in another 5 years or another 10 years, right? It's all about having patience and trusting the process and going through all of that bullshit. Nothing you do in life is just going to be easy and fun all the time. So whenever anybody asks, like, "Oh, Jeev trade like Jeev," yeah, Jeev might have made fucking like people got pissed when Raja or like Ted takes like 100 lot trade, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Ted made 20K, but it's 100 lot. If obviously if I could take 100 lot, well then why don't you? Why don't you develop your point to that?" Right? It's a process for everybody. I don't think the market's going to change with the interest in cryptos. The crypto is a whole entire market in itself that is still fairly new and still developing in a sense. And we're going to have to see how that market gets impacted when all these central banks come out with their own. That was a nice retest. What time is it? That was that new 30. That was that new fucking London Open retest while I was ranting. Shit. But anyways, we'll watch price action accordingly still. So when anybody asks like, "Hi, Jeev, how have you learned so much?" or "Why do you talk so much?" One, why I talk so much, or why I'm so aggressive. Clearly, you could see I have a real passion for these financial markets. Like I actually love this shit. It's extremely interesting to me because it impacts the dollar that we trade is the same dollar that everybody that you know in your life slaves away for. That's extremely interesting to me, right? GU failed to break those order block highs. Let's see how if we break below 377. Euro USD failing to break those highs. We're going to see if we can come below 1.2075. USD CAD starting to create a little bit of a flat candle body support and order block on the lower time frame here. And the dollar still has short-term strength, as well as we're breaking above this lower time frame bearish market structure. I can see UCAD buys with a break and retest above 1.2735. If we break above here, then I could see UCAD buys back up. Otherwise, we're just in a bit of a lower time frame range here. It's looking like dollar's holding some strength right now just to start off London session, but we needed to break above these candle body highs and show us more bullish pressure and a buy bounce from this retest point. And then obviously we could be more confident in those GU, Euro USD sells and USD CAD buys. All right. It's right now, it's only 18 minutes into London session. Let's just look at how these previous intraday candles closed as well. Yeah, so yeah, just put in the respected time and effort, you know? Does this hourly candle have a top wick? Very small top wick. We're getting a rejection at that significant price point like we expected, and we're going to be watching the reaction on gold if we come down to 1836. Don't want to play in this range right now. The big heavy sack sells where if London Open pushed up here first and failed to break. Anybody take those heavy sack sells on gold or was thinking about it? Because we're still in this consolidation right now though. And GJ is reacting to the bottom of the order block. If we clear this low, then we can see price come down to the next psychological price level, 0.200. We still can just continue to range and make our way down slowly. If you guys want to see any of the analysis we were talking about, you can always rewind this stream as well. Before we jump into and check what GU and stuff's doing, let's see what these Oxford vaccine talks are about. Like, Pakistan is using Russia's Sputnik V vaccine. South Africa is using AstraZeneca's vaccine. Emergency use. There's still so many issues around how to deploy the vaccine. There's a risk in confidence in the way people perceive the vaccine. Yeah, no shit. Not much. Yeah, see how GJ on the 1 minute, what I like about the 1 minute as you're scalping and watching price action is you can see reactions on the dot. So you can see when we push down here how we're reacting to these 1 minute lows exactly on the dot. and we can, if we don't break these lows, there's higher potential we're going to consolidate or get a deeper, more aggressive pullback. As you're watching price action, this can also give you an identification point that if we break below this price point and still respect the corrective bearish structure, there's more seller order flow to see a continued low push down to 0.200. But right now, we can see the rejection at these 1 minute low price points, where I was previously telling you guys we're starting to see some slowdown of sellers here. We can see that exact same reaction here. How do you use the 1 minute chart exactly? I have a bunch of webinars on that. You guys got to put in the same time and effort I did, but the difference is you guys don't have to go through that trial and error process, because you could go through that entire year in the Telegram analysis channel and see how I analyze trade wars to Brexit to everything else. And you can watch all these webinars on my YouTube. And then if you want even more than that, you could join the Capital Hungry private channel, where we have like 50 plus more educational webinars, and we do even more of these Zoom sessions and everything else on a day-to-day basis. But you have a ton of free resources at your disposal. As per scalp trades right now, just with London session open, I haven't seen anything too favorable to execute on yet on any pairs. I'm watching to see if GU can break this 1 minute low for sell scalps down. Otherwise, it's still bouncing and ranging in about this 15 pip range. Oh, fucking EU starting to break though. I can't look at everything at the same time, man. EU starting to break. UCAD, let's keep an eye on UCAD with the rejections we've had here for potential scalp breakout above 1.2735 in these 1 minute highs. And let's do some US30 analysis here. Obviously, with the Federal Reserve support, as they've been injecting so much money into the US stock market through ETF purchases, giving money to the government through bond purchases, which are just IOUs, giving money to the corporations, all this money is just going back into the markets to make more money. One big, heavy greed train and optimism train. What I would like, as we've had new highs printed and overall bullish market structure still being respected, is a retest of these previous highs around 31,250 and then a continuation back up. What we can see is that this London open hourly candle, though, already went to grab liquidity from these candle body lows and does have the potential just to continue right back bullish again. On the lower time frame, on the higher time frame on US30, I would want the retest at this zone or only take buys above the previous highs. We're just starting to consolidate in range here, so it's not looking too ideal to take any entries right now. I'd rather see how we react at those previous highs. The last few London sessions have been a bit trash, just as per the volume and volatility. But don't forget that if we do range overnight, these trade ideas are still very much valid through New York session and through the day as well. GBPJPY. If we create a potential support here or around that 144 flat point, I'll be looking for buys there. Yes. I like how you identified some problem areas. I like how you're identifying that previous high, which lines up with 144 flat for a retest point. We would only see a deeper retest if we broke below there. Makes sense. Right now, we're just starting to consolidate on the lower time frame, though, just to start off London session. Nothing too crazy. Euro USD sell idea, that 1.208, that higher time frame rejection area we were talking about here, where we would only take safe buys above there, solid zone. You took higher risk sells with the multiple rejections here, but you're going for more intraday targets anyways. We are still remaining below this order block for now. Let's see if we can have that dollar strength overnight and an aggressive dollar pullback to have that EU downside move and UCAD push up that we can take advantage of. Nice analysis there. Mr. Ale. Yeah, if you guys want to send charts, no problem. Now we're just waiting for those trade ideas and key price points to get retested to see reaction on the lower time frame. Obviously, if you guys are in trades already and I can't look at every single pair every single second, watch the price action accordingly or send me a quick little note. Okay, Euro GBP. Not much analysis here. Okay, what I can see just from the chart you're showing me now, how come all your candles are like different colors? What does this mean? Like, what's the pink candle mean versus like this? Obviously, I know which one are bullish and bearish, but what do these things mean? I'm just curious. What do these different colors mean? Something like with momentum or something? It's a volume indicator. So high volume. This is showing lower volume. And what EMA is this? 200? What live stream? Why? Cardi FX? Who's that? The stronger colors look higher volume. That's what I'm also thinking. That's what I'm also thinking. I'm not too much of an expert on this. What I can see is that we've had a zone here, price push up to what you are seeing as bearish market structure, a strong seller's impulsive move to create a low. We had this corrective structure to retest this previous low and sellers jump back into the market. You're saying if we can break below this order block here in consolidation zone and take the breakout entry or the break-in retest, we can target these previous lows. That does make sense. Was there another, yo, all these alerts should be off. GU starting to break below. This is nice. Yo, look at this, guys. More at, oh shit. Oh, I clicked it on before by accident. My bad, everybody. Oh shit, sorry about that. Trading View. These Trading View alerts get sent to the Capital Hungry private channel, right? As long as alongside session alerts and everything else as well. But those are Trading View alerts that I have set up to a Telegram bot so we can send those alerts straight to the chat as well. Don't worry, no rush. It's not like GU just had a meltdown because in 2 minutes we have new 30-minute candles. Yeah, they're separate for each pairs, but they only get triggered when we hit these white lines. So we haven't hit, like this gold alert's off right now. GJ, we haven't hit, let me turn this one off in case we come up here. And the play sounds off there. Yeah, don't worry, don't rush GU just yet, just because we have a new 30-minute candle. So don't have FOMO over this little 2-pip melt, all right? Relax. Yeah, you can customize the sound however you want. You can put it on one pair, turn it off on the others, turn it off on all of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't worry about GU just yet. We still have a new 30-minute candles. Let's see how this 30 is closing. I like this. I like the fact that we had this hard rejection and closing below this price sensitivity. If the next 30 can create a quick upper wick, and then we have the US dollar strength continue to get that pullback and retest of these previous highs, that would be ideal, right? So just be cautious that the next 30 can push a bit above the key level, then create its upper wick, then continue down, like it's doing right now, just pushing up first, and then we're looking to target. If we remain below this price sensitivity area, we're looking to target this as a retest of structure. Looking good. How's the dollar moving? Yeah, these are new 30-minute candles. So dollar, nice bullish close at a above structure, above this little consolidation zone. If the dollar can continue bullish, that'd be ideal for us, and would give us more confirms to extend EU sell scalps, GU sell scalps as well, and potential UCAD buys. UCAD, pay attention to as we're reacting to the top of the order block on the 1 minute right now. Let's see if we start to create a little bit of a flat candle body support for a buy scalp. Gold is just ranging. Gold is nothing clean yet. Guys, don't forget your mental reminders. Remember, the market is always here, but your capital may not be. Stay smart. Follow your trading plan. Follow your risk management plan. Focus on the long-term vision, not your short-term satisfaction and impulsive desires. Understand that. Try to stay as emotionally neutral as possible. If your wife just divorced you, maybe don't trade tonight. You know? Maybe just relax. But yeah. No economic events overnight, just through New York session. Key fundamental points are still very much valid. Who is... Germany says 1 in 6 companies plan to shift investments from Britain mainly to Germany and other EU countries. Germany says trade and cooperation agreement with Britain can only partially offset negative impacts. This guy's trying to bring us some negativity, but it's not having too much of a negative impact so far. Nice little retest so far, though. We're starting to potentially break below this candle body lows as well on GJ. Gold is just ranging. Euro USD giving us a new retest on this 30-minute candle. As long as we remain below this order block area, that trade idea is still valid. London session so far, though, pretty slow and shit. UCAD, no clean confirms of a support yet. Still playing around with this new 30-minute candle just early into the 30 minutes. US30, no, nothing significant just yet. Gold right now is just ranging. Gold, we called, if you have big balls and you are a risky trader, there was high risk sells at these previous 1 minute highs at that London open push up. Otherwise, we're watching for the reactions for potential support at 1836 for buys. Okay? We would only be looking for sells below 1836 down to retest 1828, where this would be a great higher time frame pullback buy area at 1828 when you're looking at the lower time frame structure we have been respecting here. Right now we are just sitting at, who the fuck is Quarterly? Who? Curti? Right now we're just sitting at 1844 previous highs, seeing buyers starting to exit positions and creating a pullback phase, but we don't want to enter anything in this range right now. There's nothing too clean in that range right now. We'd only be looking for safe buys above 1844 or support at 1836 or 1828. The high risk sells were here, which is like the entry is gone now. That was at London Open. Or if we break and retest below 1836, we could take advantage of that pullback phase. What are you guys talking about? Who's QWERTY? What's the contrast? What do you mean? El QWERTY is a member of the Forex family. Oh, she probably joined when I wasn't as active in there anymore. I'm sorry, Mrs. QWERTY. If you're providing people value, don't mean to roast or be rude. QWERTY L. Miss QWERTY Elf. L. QWERTY L. Miss Eleanor. Gold, yeah, gold dropped about 110 pips. India's Bharat Biotech likely to export COVID-19 vaccine to Brazil and Dubai by the end of this week. United Arab Emirates. Oh. Covaxin. So this one too, Covaxin. She's streaming my channel and her channel? Oh. Is that good or bad? Yeah, London has been pretty slow. I don't want to be mean to somebody I've never heard of or met yet. That's the only thing, you know? That new 30-minute created that upper wick around the key level. Euro USD, similar idea. Slowly chugging away here. UCAD, if it can come back above 375, 35 here. US30 we're staying out of. Gold coming down to 36. Who the fuck is Grace Bennett? Shut up, Mary Bryant. I'm not from India. I'm born in Canada. I gotta go to the washroom in a second. That's what I was saying. These bots are evolving, eh? Damn. These bots be sending messages in like live streams now? That's crazy. These are some fucking bots are evolving, this AI. What I need is this dollar candle to flip bullish. You know how this 30-minute candle is messing around right now? I need this 30-minute candle to flip bullish and go back up to 90.93. GJ starting to break below the order block. Gold slowly making its way down at 36. GU making its way down. It's up about 8 pips. Man's like, GU gone. It's not gone. It's like 5 pips. 7 pips, man. We don't control when the market moves or when these moves happen. We don't know when it's gonna happen or have any control of that. So there's no point of stressing over that stuff. If we get our confirms as per our pre-planned analysis, then we can safely execute on it, a potential risk for a reward, right? If that trade loses, it loses, but at least it was pre-planned and analyzed. So sometimes we can see the market ranging for the entire London session, but our analysis play out the next New York or the following session after that, you know? But right now it only dropped 7 pips below the key level. It's already like pulling back right now too. GJ slowly making his way down. Gold, I want to watch the reactions at 36, or we're bouncing at these order block lows right here, these candle body lows. I take the same trades that I would call on this stream, some for scalps or intraday trades, but I'm not trading. I'm taking a vacation next week. I'm trading when I come back from vacation. The fuck did I fuck up here? Okay, Mr. Ashley, Mr. Ashley. Hard, a little bit hard. Okay, let me read this out. Support zone being, what time is this time frame? Is this 5-minute time frame? Volume based candle bars. What do these numbers mean? That was a nice little retest too. Hey, the guy who sent the order block sell, did you catch your The fuck? You guys catch those GJ sell scalps? Sorry, let's go back. Okay. I've given my perspective on US30, but if you want me to like explain this a bit more. Yeah, trading with ICE. Did you catch your little 10 pips below the order block? Nice in and out, right? I always give you guys pretty good analysis, I think. Okay, so what do these numbers mean on the left side here? Anybody can help me out with this? I like how you identified this potential rejection point with some exhaustion by sellers and a support being created. I like how you identified the bearish market structure. And if we break above this bearish market structure, you can extend buys up to this previous 1 minute high and into new highs. How do I read this? Blue is a buy, yellow is a sell. Numbers to the left show buying and selling orders. Really? So these are 16,000 buy orders? What's it mean? X 16,000 buy orders against 15,000 sell orders? Or what's the decimal points? What's like the 16.67637? Or how come up here there's no K's? What's it mean when it's like just a 98? Or is this in the thousands of orders, millions of orders? I like the price action confirms and where your potential stop loss is. If we could break above this lower time frame bearish structure, I see potential to revisit these previous 1 minute highs. If this right here is a signal that's telling you more buyers volume is coming in and you can use that to your advantage for confirms, even better, right? What the hell, yo, GU and GJ wiling out right now. Right back to the key level. GJ2 having some aggressive pullbacks here. I would be careful with GU now after this little lower wick was created like this, because the dollar just fucked us and snapped right back into range. So this is gonna make EU and GU invalid now. Because the dollar's coming right back into this intraday range here. What I needed the dollar to do was just retest this high and continue bullish, and that would have supported our bias. But we're not. But we're only, and obviously that's making that's breaking UCAD back in the range as well. UCAD didn't give us this, but UCAD never gave us the safe confirms anyways here. UCAD was just rejecting up here. Yeah, dollars doing its thing. So now we're pretty much snapping back in the range. If we start to create a support here, we're just going to continue back up. EU, we're just back to the top of the range. We're still only taking safe buys above 2087. Gold bouncing off like these 1 minute lows here. Still ranging though, nothing significant. Yeah, that was good if you guys had your stop loss at break even. At least you got taken out at break even on this 1 minute candle. But there's nothing we can do about that, about the dollar snapping right back into range here, right? These people take their stream way too serious. What happened? Because now GU is just breaking right back above the key level, but we're still not taking buys unless we come above these highs. In EU, we're still not, oh, EU might give us the buys actually above 2087. And we're still not taking UCAD sells unless we break below 120.722 here. And we're looking to target the next key level. We didn't get a clean break above this order block high yet, and we had this rejection. And now the dollar just faded out that strength and is starting to actually melt. Dollar's melting right now. GJ coming right back to structure as well. Okay, EU didn't even give us the entry we wanted. This shit just went straight up. Nothing we could do about that. EU didn't give us a clean breakout or like a retest here. So it's all good. If we can get an entry here, that'd be a lot better. GU's just still in this range. I'm not confident in GU buys until we break above 3.7 with the amount of rejection we've had here before. I'm still not confident those GU buys until we break there. EU, what I'm looking for on EU now, that these sells didn't work out. You can see that we started to get the sell entries for like 5 to 10 pips. And then as the US dollar snapped back into that range, we broke back into the range. So anything would get taken out, break even. And now we're breaking above the bear structure and above the 1 minute highs. So now for EU, if that dollar weakness stays valid, we're looking for a retest of this area and continuation up. Gold we didn't touch. GJ gave these sell scalps at the start of London and the quick sell scalps at the retest of 3.6. GBPUSD was starting to break below the key level and up 10 pips. But same idea, when the US dollar snapped back in range, this 1 minute candle would have taken you out break even. And now we are back in this lower time frame range where I'm still not confident in buys unless we break above this high or we were to create more of a support at 3.77. So nothing significant on EU or GU. And then UCAD though, if we clear this low, I am looking to take those sells down to the range as we didn't break above this order block 1 minute high. It looked like we were going to break, then we started to reject and snap back below. So if the US dollar continues weak, then we will get that squeeze and sell on UCAD. The only thing to be cautious about is in 12 minutes, we have the new hourly candles. And with that US dollar weakness and how gold didn't give us a pullback, instead it's been generating liquidity and failing to break, those gold buy analysis above 1844 is still valid if we get that 1844 1 minute break. What streamed? What happened? What are you guys talking about in the chat? So you guys sabotage somebody's stream? The funny thing is they care more about gossip than value. What are you guys talking about, man? I'm here providing information and market updates. What are you guys talking about? Yeah, GU from London Open has gone up and down 15 pips so far. Yeah, I'm here watching the charts, man. What stream are you guys talking about sabotaging? Let's see if we can get this EU pullback. UCAD still didn't break this low yet. What'd you say joking around? GJ, we were primarily in a corrective sell bias as we were watching this corrective bearish market structure being respected and buyers exiting positions from highs. We were looking at sells at 144.5 or a retest of the 1 minute lows, which already started to play out. Like if you caught the 0.500 entries or if you caught this retest entry, we were looking to target 0.200, but we're starting to already get some exhaustion from these lows, and markets are starting to range a bit. So those initial sell scalps played out, and we're still respecting this corrective bearish market structure. Where as long as we're under this bearish market structure, I'm still in a bearish bias. I'd only be looking for buys above that point. It's just that London session's fairly stagnant and slow right now for the first 40 minutes. We haven't seen anything too significant happen. And a similar thing on GU here. We were initially in these GU cells, which ran for about like only 7 to 8 pips. But as the US dollar quickly snapped back into range, price came right back to entry for a break even. And now we're just back into this intraday range around those previous highs. I don't want to start taking buys on GU unless we get a deeper pullback to 3745 or we get a breakout above 379. I don't really want to play in this range. We were just looking for corrective sell scalps below 377. It was looking good with this with this bearish price action until the US dollar snapped back into range with that following 30-minute candle you can see here. I wanted that 30-minute candle to stay above this little order block and consolidation and continue up, but we had that strength quickly get faded out. UCAD, we were watching if we had any safe buys above 2735 if we created an order block or a break and retest. Instead, we came here and rejected, and we are playing in this lower time frame range. I'm only looking for sells below this price point and only looking for buys with a clean break above that price point alongside watching the dollar index overnight. London's fairly slow and stagnant so far because we haven't had any economic data reports or too many events to focus on or too much volatility come in from reactive news headlines. EU, we're looking for sell scalps below this 1 minute low point. It only went up similar to GU about 8 pips. Then as the dollar picked up strength, we snapped back into the range to exit out and watch it accordingly. Then we broke above this order block in bullish structure where we're looking for a retest now, which we're pretty close to now for continued safe buys above 2087. Unless you got a breakout entry here, which wasn't many confirms, we're still waiting for that retest, which we almost just got here for continued scalp buys back up with that US dollar weakness. UCAD only sells below that level. US30 is just ranging at its intraday highs, not giving anything too significant here so far. And dollar is still running bearish, potentially breaking bullish structure, which is showing us that there's still money coming out of the safe haven currencies. Let's watch gold, because I think gold's going to break in the next hour or so. If we break above 1844 for some buys up. I'm just gonna be back in 5 minutes here. I really gotta go to the washroom. I didn't realize it was 4 a.m. 4 a.m. I've been talking for 2.5 hours straight. Who the fuck is Rojo Banks? Rojo Banks. Rojo Bonks was the funniest name I've seen. Rojo Banks. I just gotta go to the washroom, guys. Show my face. I used to have social media. It's not like I'm hiding. It's just that we have a lot on the screen already. Like I'm trying to show analysis, show the newsroom. You know how creepy it is that you're angry at me not showing my face? Man's fucking horny. I'm just gonna go to the washroom, everybody. Don't forget your mental reminders. If the trade ideas don't play out through London session, they're always still very valid through New York. Don't overtrade or over leverage. Keep in mind some of these stream reminders, and always don't forget to re-watch these webinars as well. I'll just be back in a second. Yo, just give me 2 minutes here. I just gotta fix my mic. One sec. All right, I'm back. Okay, new hourly candles. So gold, we did get that break above 1844. It looks like this new hourly candle was just creating its lower wick. If we can come back above 1844 here in the 1 minute, I see those potential buys up still. Let's just see how these hourly candles opened and closed. Sorry, I was just talking about the new hourly candles just opened up like a couple of minutes ago. Todd buys viewers. He's already got caught buying viewers before, you know? So he usually buys viewers to keep his stream at a certain number, where most of us don't give a fuck how many viewers we get. He's on caught with like 2,000 viewers before. Yeah, I'm watching on this hourly candle. If we reject these highs and come down, we're going to get a deeper retest. But the safer buys are still if we come back above on the 1 minute, above 1844, and validate that that was just a lower wick being created, right? So on the new hourly right now, we're just getting reactions at this price point, where if we could reject these previous highs, then flip bullish above 1844, there's that buy potential still there. But I'm just letting this new hourly candle just set up and watching how it moves. It's only been 5 minutes into it. All right. GJ still remained below the 1 minute order block on the new hourly candle, still following our bias for GJ sales down to 0.200. If anybody's still holding GJ from 0.5 or from 0.45 or from 0.37 1 minute lows. See, this is why I don't want anybody to jump in GU buys, right? See how it's just ranging here, fairly indecisive. EU went to the key level. So those EU buys played out. It just didn't give the cleanest entry. This retest was like only 1 pip away, but it did at least run up that 15 pips to the key level. It's and obviously reacted at this key level. I don't have an alert here. Oh, it is. It should be. The key to trading is always to look for a trading opportunity for the new 4 hour. That's the key to trading. That's the magic secret. Yeah, see how we're starting to create a little bit of a flat candle body support on the new hourly at these retests, these previous 1 minute highs. So if that hourly candle can flip bullish, we'll get that range up. You feel me? GJ running to point. Anybody in GJ still? GJ still going. It's still playing out with that lower time frame price action. GU is messy. The GU sells were in profit for like 8 pips and then it snapped back and now it's just ranging. GU is messy, you know? GJ was a lot cleaner with that bearish lower time frame structure we were looking at and how like a new low is being printed now. See how we're running in this structure? Pull back. It's in this corrective structure now. So we're coming to that 0.200 target, which is good. Nobody who comes into a YouTube chat named after Enrique Iglesias is in my girl, bro. You're probably in a dude named Paul in bed right now, cuddling up. Fruit of Looms creating friction between each other, starting a fire between each other. Y'all are rubbing Fruit of Looms right now. Pretty much reacting a couple pips off 0.200 here. But did it make sense? Like these 30 minutes did exactly what we said. 0.500 area retest, order block retest, and slowly correcting its way down, you know? So some nice scalps on GJ with the multiple opportunities if you took the 0.500 or these retests or this retest. But fairly slow night overall. Like pretty messy night. GU just ranging. GU's doing that potential bounce we were talking about where we got that retest of the key level. Yeah, you guys can send charts or whatever you want. EURUSD, the sales only ran for 10 pips, then price snapped back in the range. We were looking for these safe buys from the start of the night, and that ran 15 pips to the next key level. If we get another break and retest above the key level, there's another scalp opportunity available here, but you can see the reaction. I'm not Jay Wicks. You've probably been trading fucking 6 months and you're watching my stream. I'm saying the London session is slower because it is slower. I've been trading 3 years. I've seen London session move across pairs hundreds of pips before. When price is going up and down 15 pips, it's not that high impact volatile. There's no economic data reports. There's no news, right? You keep telling us about your fucking amazing trading strategy in a YouTube chat. Nobody fucking knows you. You know what I mean? You didn't even send a chart. You didn't send like a trade you took. You didn't send shit. You're just talking in a YouTube chat saying the key to trading is wait for new 4-hour candles. Like, what are you, fucking 3 years old? We're watching lower time frame price action for entries and watching price action develop. When you're trading prime London session volume and it takes almost an hour and a half for like a 20 pip scalp to play out, it's fucking slow. Look at how it's moving. It's not like we had a straight 40 pip meltdown with the volume. Cuz man, so many retards in the world. Like you, first of all, there's unless somebody's put in more effort and time than studying the charts than I have, then I'll probably You just said you made your 20 pips, but you said you're holding till the next 4 hour candle. Shouldn't you be holding for another hour? No, man, you guys don't get it. Too many of you guys want to be traders, but you haven't even been trading the markets for a full year yet. You have no idea how the markets actually work. And you're gonna get, and I can be as rude to you as I want. Nothing's gonna hurt you more than when the reality of the markets hits you in the face. You know, I can be as mean to you guys as I want, but when the reality of the markets hits you guys in the face, then you're gonna wake up and say, "Oh wow, it's not just about fucking 4 hour candles. There's tons of different factors involved." So anybody who's been trading for a year or less can't really give me advice, or especially if you haven't even been putting in the same time and effort, then you for sure can't be given advice. GJ with that bounce. Gold didn't break above 1844 yet, so nothing clean there. This channel is so crude and vulgar. You know what else is crude and vulgar? The financial markets. That's why you guys have $300 accounts that you've been trading for the last year and a half. That's the harsh reality. You want me to tell you the reality? Do you want me to tell you the reality? That's why the markets are crude and vulgar. That's why you have a $400 account. Yeah, now it sucks, right? When you look at your account and go, fuck, I've been up and down trading $300 for a year. Now what makes you feel worse? You reflecting your account or me being rude to you? You guys think I'm joking with you right now. Time does matter. This guy said time does not matter. It's all about knowledge. There's better traders out you who traded for 3 months. You are a new trader who is absolutely retarded. Go to any long-term investor or trader and tell them that time in the market doesn't matter. And they're going to call you a fucking retard. That's like telling Kobe Bryant practicing doesn't matter. Experience doesn't matter. You know how stupid you sound? You're telling me time or experience in the financial markets does not matter. Only knowledge does. Well, there's a lot of knowledge that you can't, that there's a ton of knowledge that you will never attain without experience. So your argument is already incorrect there. There's tons and tons of knowledge that come from the market from your own experience that you can't get unless you put the time and effort in. You can't just get it from reading. You know what I mean? This is the time of the webinar where I fucking roast everybody because I've been trading 3-4 years. You guys been trading 3 months, 3-4 months, and you guys got $500 accounts. You're watching my stream with your $500 account, trying to take a trade. I'm past that. So if you guys don't want this reality check, if you guys don't want this information that's actually going to help you, that's up to you. But don't be mad at me about your $500 account. You know what I mean? You're not going to learn shit. You're not going to become a successful trader. I know you got a $500 account. So, monkeys throwing darts. We're not even trading stocks, man. What a retard. Circo, thank you, bro. That's a good comparison. Imagine playing basketball for 3 months and thinking you can ball with Kobe just because you watched a lot of basketball videos and you made a few shots in your fucking local park. Trading for 3 to 4 years means that I've experienced things that you haven't even experienced in the markets. I've traded through trade wars, through real wars, traded through Brexit, political issues, through pandemic markets, and understanding all of this historical repetition. I've traded through different fundamental catalysts that you've never experienced, and I have that experience in the markets. Just like you can't go to the gym for 3 months. Can you go to the gym for 3 months without steroids and expect to have massive amounts of gains or the same amount of gains as somebody who's been somebody who's been working out for 3 years consistently? So what's the difference? So what's the difference in the markets? Why do you think you can come in the markets in 3 months and be successful? No, you can't. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I love talking to the trolls. You know why I love talking to the trolls? Because the trolls feed me. Like I said it last time, I'm the one doing the live stream right now with all of you guys watching and listening, right? I'm the one sharing the information, sharing you guys news headlines, talking about trading ideas, right? Making money trading through CH, through various avenues, sitting in my room. I'm sitting in my ass right now. I'm sitting in my ass right now in my room. And you guys are the ones logged in your Fruit of Loom underwear on a fake account with a fake name, giving me your time and energy at 4:17 a.m. Eastern. You guys knew when I was going to start the stream. You came to join the stream. You came to log in. You logged in on your fake account, and you came to give me that time and energy. While I'm continuing to increase my chart hours, experience, and knowledge by doing these streams and sharing these trade ideas, you're coming to give me your time and energy. Feel me? No, we always banter and we always banter and roast towards the end of the stream. At the end of the stream is always our banter and roast time. I know that $500 account thing hit a lot of people deep, but guess what? We all start somewhere. I'm just trying to give people a wake up call. Gold's looking nice. me and Raja, we're all good friends. I'm not emotional at all. I'm actually like, this is just how I am. I love to interact this way, talk with people, joke around, be confident in myself, in my skill set and information and knowledge. Like I like it. It's not really like you're. I don't understand what's emotional about me talking to the people in my YouTube chat. You guys are in my YouTube chat. Your guys' comments are directed towards my stream or me. Like I'm talking to you guys. Would you want me to do ignore your messages? Yeah, gold did a nice little 10 pip push up so far. GJ still slowly making its way down to 0.200 for that sell bias. Sure. Yeah, I got people from all around the world ask me for help with trading, analysis, information on the markets. So it's like really interesting. I've dealt with a lot of different personalities. Yeah, this is what we're looking at on GJ as well. We're still very bullish. This pullback right now is just buyers exiting positions out at these highs. So as long as we have this corrective phase continue and we can notice consolidation or support at this previous high point in bullish market structure, then yeah. Another 20 points down would be good. You got yo, listen. Can you guys shut the fuck up about how I deal with trolls or hate? Suck my dick. All you guys telling me to ignore trolls, suck my dick. I like trolls. I like negative energy. I use positive and negative energy in my life. I'm not a pussy who doesn't like anxiety or depression or being sad. I like all that shit. I like using it to my advantage. All right? Holy. Why do you guys care? That's my personality. Stop fucking telling me how to act and shit. You guys are in my stream. I like that. I like negative. There's positive energies in life and there's negative energy. I like using both. There's ways you can use the negative energy in your life to a positive, and there's ways you can use the positive energy. I like both. All right? If I like to talk to trolls and talk shit, that's my choice. I like to do that. Some of you guys don't like to be sad. Some of you guys don't like to fucking face any anxiety. Some of you guys don't like to be trolled. I don't mind it. I like feeling all different types of emotions and being self-aware, seeing how these emotions are making me feel and how I can use these emotions. When I'm depressed, how can I turn that depression into a positive or use this to push me or fuel me into a certain direction? When somebody's trolling me, how can I use this energy to continue to feed me and fuel me in the direction I want to move to? All energy at the end of the day is energy, whether it's negative or positive. I don't care. Holy, you guys are so pussy, man. This new generation and some of the people, just through all the social media, through everything else, so pussy. I'm not even white. You guys are so wrong about everything. Listen, I'm not trying to be rude, all right? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm on a different mental perspective than 99% of the people that I talk to and care. I don't care about people's feelings or sadness or this or that or sensitivity or social issues or racism or religion or culture. Like, yeah, stuff's interesting. I don't give a shit about any of it. All right? I don't care about race. I don't care about social issues, trannies, homos, all that stuff. LGBT, social issues, women's feminism, men's rights, religion. I don't care about any of it. Color, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Okay? All I care about when I'm doing when I'm doing this analysis or trading the markets is economic impact. Right? Nobody's is going to impact my trading from emotional perspective. You guys don't get it. For over 3 years now, I've been dealing with thousands and thousands of people from 18 years old to 70 years old. All right? From across the world, from South Africa to India to Japan. I've dealt with all kinds of people, man. We are not the same. We are not the same with the amount of people we've dealt with or the experience we have. We are not the same with the amount of work we have put in. We are not the same emotionally. We're not the same. We're not in the same mental space. All right? Sorry about that. I know it sucks to hear. I know you guys are afraid of being sad or afraid of being depressed, and you do whatever you can to avoid these negative emotions or any negativity in your life. That's fine. All right? That's fine. I'm not. I like to use and feel every single emotion because it's 100% normal. Gold ran 20 pips for anybody who took those 1844 buys. Nice little 20 pip scalp. We still got 5 minutes till the 30-minute candle closes. It would be nice to go to 1849. GJ finally starting to show some exhaustion at 144.200. But other than that, those sells played out nice from 0.500, the 1 minute retest we were looking at here, and below the order block for the scalp down towards 0.200. It's only off by 20 pips. 20 pips. It's only off by 2 pips. Right? Yeah, man. Because at the end of the day, none of you fucking mans in the chat, whether you support me or not, could do the same thing as I'm doing. You know what I mean? You guys don't have the balls or the confidence to come on and do a stream and share information or trading ideas. You guys don't have the balls to share your own singular trades by yourself. Right? So for anybody who's going to be streaming or providing analysis publicly, they need a certain level of confidence to do that. You can't just be like scared behind the charts or not confident. Yeah, don't forget, we have the new 4-hour candles in roughly 34 minutes. Check your chart. I don't see anything, Austin. And we have Asian markets closing at 5 a.m. Eastern. You made $100 on gold. Nice. Just watch the new 30-minute candles and 4-hour candle closures. And a lot of the shit I said, not to be rude, guys, a lot of the shit I said is going to go over your heads. And you're going to realize it maybe like a year later about how important the trading psychology was. And that the shit I was saying wasn't just random rants. It was actually just all facts. Farmhouse gaming. Nice. I don't call people dumb based on their knowledge. I usually call people dumb based on the amount of effort they put in. You know, what pairs we got here? GJ, you're going for a large TP for a full correction, eh? Matt, who is this? Max? Who's Elf? Max probably. I used to work in financial tech for a Canadian bank for global operations, which is more back end tech. Oh, that's yours, Mac? Hmm? Yeah. Oh, the stream's gonna be ending shortly. Everyone leave the stream in solidarity. You know what? If you guys want, we don't have to do these streams because we do them in the private chat anyways. Like, I don't mind. It's all fun and games for me. The next stream is, I usually do these twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I could just do it in the private chat. Doesn't matter to me. It only broke. Where did you enter where it broke above 1844 here? Because it only broke above 1844 here. These are like rejection candles on the dot, right? This was the lower wick formed, and which was only about 12 pips below it. This is below it. This is 1844 on the dot right here, right? This was the breakout candle, and now we're looking for a cleaner retest. This was more just rejection with that new hourly candle opening and the lower wick being formed. I just threatened to hurt my viewer count. This is a free stream. I just mean like I do these sessions every day in the Zoom chat as well. So like we don't have to. If you guys don't want to do the free streams, I don't have to do them. You know. It's up to you guys. Yeah, you have to wait for the 1 minute if you watch the educational webinars, you have to wait for the candles to actually close above the price point we're looking at, right? Even this wasn't like a clean breakout. This to me is showing a cleaner breakout where if I could get a retest on the 4-hour or 1 hour and then continuation back up, that would be the cleaner break and retest. This is a breakout entry. There has been no retest yet. This was just reaction at the key level, and then with the timing of it, you had the hourly candle close and this minute, and then the new hourly candle opened and started to create its lower wick. Here we were still below 1844 in the zone we were looking at. So those are just rush buys here. We didn't actually have a candle closure above 1844 until here. Huh? How much did I make in January? Like around 15K CAD. Those are those trades I was showing you guys at the start of the stream with the wins and losses. If I'm scalping and I'm looking for 10, 15, 20 pips, I'll usually take a breakout entry because I'm just trying to capitalize on that quick squeeze and get out. If I'm more intraday trading and I wanted to catch like 60, 100 pips, I'd be waiting for the break and retest. Because with the breakout, you can catch that quick impulsive move. You know what I mean? Huh? What do you guys thought? Sorry, I didn't read the YouTube chat for a second. Private chat members are telling me to fuck the YouTube people. Just stop doing the YouTube streams. They're like, fuck it, bro. Let's just do the Zoom streams. Fuck these people. What are you guys saying in here? All right. Guys, shut the fuck up. I want the free streams. I thought Controller FX is bad. I don't know who that is. Took the risky buy at 1839. Good job. What's an hourly candle? Buddy, good luck in life. What do you think about the COT reports? COT reports were better when economic conditions were more neutral. We didn't have pandemic markets, and it's better for more swing trading positions to see like institutional order flow. I look forward to Tuesdays and Thursdays as I always start my day with awesome economic analysis. Thank you, Mr. Ben. Talk your shit. Guys, shut the fuck up. I want the free streams. Better if it was 5 times a week. Suck my dick. I go from gulag to gulag for the knowledge. Nah, don't go. Everyone's too sensitive here. Wait, is Capital Hungry getting canceled? Though, just the YouTube streams. I'm on vac. There's no YouTube streams next week, though. Actually, like jokes aside, there's no YouTube streams next week because I'm on vacation. Sylvia, your husband left you and you're a single mother. So deal with that, you know? Yeah, send the chart. It's hard to see everything. No, I wouldn't. Sorry, I wouldn't consider an initial breakout because you have to remember the timing, right? The timing is that this was an hourly candle close that was just about 8 pips above the level, then a new hourly candle opened. This is the cleaner breakout. And the breakout entry is more like an impulsive entry for a quick scalp squeeze, right? We still have like the potential over NY to get like the retest, then continuation up for like the intraday trades. This initial breakout isn't a good entry for a breakout impulsive because it's right 1 minute before an hourly close. That's what I'm saying. Do you understand? If this happened and there was still 30 minutes left in the hourly candle, this would have given us a squeeze up right there for a breakout entry. I'm saying with the timing, the fact that we pushed up here within the last 3 minutes of the hourly candle, and then that 4 a.m. Eastern candle closed right here, I saw higher potential that new hourly is going to do a pullback first before we continue up with the timing. Understand? So this isn't enough confirms with the price action and with the timing of it. It's right for a scalp. Because remember, you're trying to scalp 10, 15, 20 pips. And this is right. And when you're looking at it, yes, gold is pushing up. Yes, we get a bullish close above 1844. But we have an hourly candle closing the next minute. And then you have the hourly candle close like this, which shows me the next hourly candle can create a lower wick, which could come a bit deeper. So we're going to monitor that. Then you don't get an actual breakout candle till here where you would enter for a potential scalp squeeze. You get your 10, 15, 20 pips, then you're out. Right? But for an intraday trade, now that we've had this almost 30 pip breakout above the 44 price point, I would be looking for the next hourly candle or 4-hour candle to retest, create a support. That's your breakout and retest for a potential intraday trade up the ranges, or if you want to wait for more confirms, right? But the breakout impulsive scalp trying to aim for 10, 20 pips was here. And the only reason it wasn't here is because the hourly candle was closing. That's the only reason. And then we didn't get an actual bullish 1-minute candle closure above, or any candle closures above 1844 till this candle. It was just hovering right on it or below. Right? And you can see once we got that breakout with the failure to break these 1839 higher risk point first, you got that quick squeeze above the highs, which is like 20, 30 pips. As a scalper, you take that and get out of the market. And those breakout or retest entries is highly dependent on your confidence and experience, because if you're not confident in the trade, you're probably not going to execute on the breakout and you're going to miss it 3 minutes later. And scalping, you're in and out of the market very quick. So if you miss this and you take 2 minutes to hesitate, price is already up here. If you're not confident in that, it's best you wait for the retest of structure and be patient and wait for that, right? So don't forget to zoom out as you're watching the lower time frame and understand that, yes, we are pushing above 1844 here, but the new hourly candle just closed and the new one just opened within that 2-3 minutes. It made more sense when that hourly candle first made its lower wick and then broke above 1844. When you look at the intraday price action here, see how it quickly made that lower wick on the new hourly candle? Now it gave that little 20, 30 pip squeeze up. GJ pretty much top 0.200 on the dot. It was slow, but those GJ sells from 0.500 and 0.45, if you guys caught those, played out nice. Huh? Don't feed the trolls? Yeah, don't worry about that. GU is just playing in that range after the bounce off the key level. EURUSD is continuing up for anybody who caught the breakout buy there. UCAD is just ranging, still only safe sells below 272. Yeah, there's a lot of stream whores who go from one stream to the other, you know? But that's like their choice. It's just like very weird in a sense. It's like, what are you doing all day? You watch the London stream, the Asian stream, the New York stream. You got fucking shit to do in your life? Oh man. Watching 3 different London streams. You watch the New York stream, you watch the Asian stream. Yeah, GJ still respecting that corrective structure. We're reacting at 0.200 now. Gold, the breakout buys above 1844 are still running. We want to target 1849. I usually stream every Tuesday and Thursday, London session. Next week, there's not going to be any streams because I'm off. Like, I'm on a vacation for a week. But Thursday this week, I'm not streaming either. Unless we get a "We Love Jeeve" chant in the chat. In the chat. Yeah, if you guys don't like my personality or language, you don't have to like watch the stream. You know, you can always just click the big X button. You guys can always just click the big X button. You know. GBP AUD. Haven't looked at this pair in a minute. Oh, you like the streams because of the language? Everybody's got their preference, you know? The thing about London is you have a lot of options. Like I know Seed streams, Monty. So if you don't like my language, I don't think Monty swears. This bullish market structure is nice. What I don't like is the amount of rejections we've had at these highs and the seller's pressure that's developing here. So I'd be very cautious with how this 4 hour candle is already flipped bearish and it's closing in the next 18 minutes, that we could get a breakout to the downside. There's a UCAD breakout entry. Now if we can get the retest after on the new 4 hour. Yes, sir, Mr. EU still going up as well. EU, I'm looking for a retest of the key level or this previous high here. Like the same buy area, if we get a retest of this area during New York hours, it's still a buy level. And UCAD, I'm looking for a retest of these 1 minute lows. If you didn't catch a breakout entry, like 1 minute lows and continued sells down, looks like dollars starting to continue to melt down here. And then gold, I'm looking for a retest of 1844 and continuation up if you didn't catch the breakout impulsive entries. GJ looks like it might give some high risk buy scalps at 0.200. But other than that, we've just been taking the sells from 0.5, 0.45, from 0.35, the order block low. Now we finally got that reaction of 0.200 on the dot. Yo, round of applause, round of applause. Huh? GU, we're only taking buys if we come above 378 point here. And we're looking to at least get a 20-30 pip squeeze with all this liquidity generated here. But we're reacting to those highs on the dot. UCAD. US30 giving us that pullback. Good stream. Can I look at... Can I look at your chart? Yeah, I didn't see you send a chart. What's next? Did you send anything? You got 26 pips on gold? Nice job, nice job. Let's see some of these headlines. Dollar's extending its fall. We're already watching that. China talking about the virus. Not much else. Not too much economic data like we already expected. We're looking at some of these economic events. If you guys are trading New York, there is the U.S. JOLTS job opening data. Macro key fundamental points are still very valid. Thanks. 15 pips on gold, 20 pips on gold. Good job. What is this? Whoa, wow. First time I've seen a curved trend line. This is cool. Downward slooping channel. What the fuck is a sloping? Wow, bro, it's like a ski hill. Interesting, very interesting. What pair is this? GJ. All right, what I do like about this and I see something similar, what I see it as is buyers exiting positions here and creating that pullback phase like you also identified here, right? This swooping channel lines up with the previous intraday highs, which would be a great demand area for us to drive into. So if we could come to retest previous intraday highs and continue this bearish corrective structure and create a flat candle body support here and break out of that pullback phase, I see a lot of room to revisit these highs and then go continue up. Yes, sir. Very cool. Very cool little channel here. First time I seen that. I like how you're watching the session movements, dividing the structure, understand the long term. You understand the long term trend. You just have some certain tools that you like to use. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I agree. I would like to retest the previous high, create a support, and then break out of this corrective structure. For me, this would be like the high risk buy area because you don't know if we're gonna continue down deeper for a more aggressive pullback to a better demand point. The safer buy area would be validating once we have that break, once we have that validation of support and a break of structure. This would be the safer buy area with the break of structure back up to the previous highs, where you have some more confirms you can check off. You know. Kremlin says foreign demand for Russia's Sputnik vaccine is so big that it's not possible to quickly satisfy it. There's like 10 different vaccines. Like, how many vaccines is every country buying? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Kremlin says we'll take all measures to satisfy foreign demand once their domestic demand has been reached. Sputnik vaccine from Russia seems 94% effective. Why are my trades being converted if my account is based in US dollars? If I make 7 pips, it's being calculated at 5. What broker are you using? Possibly the commissioner spread? Yeah, man, the whole vaccine business is still extremely fishy. Dixie Gap. What do you mean? Dollar just continuing bearish. What open? Oh, this? Talking about this up here? Honestly, it's not that significant of a gap. That could be filled whenever in the distant future. That's not that significant of really a price gap. If that's what you're talking about up there, this is what you're talking about. Yeah, not that doesn't have to get filled anytime soon. If you're looking to like trade it from a gap fill perspective, it's a very minor gap, especially we're on the 30-minute time frame. Well, it looks like we're still pretty bearish on the dollar, and we don't have too much going on through New York except for the U.S. JOLTS job opening data. You feel me? Oh, this is a Wyckoff trader, Wyckoff trader. UTAD. I remember these little labelings. I have no idea what the fuck they mean. All right. What I'd like to see here, what we can identify is we know the US dollar standalone is bearish. That's a good cue for the first part. What would be a second good cue to observe Canadian dollar strength fundamentally is how oil is moving on the lower time frames. If oil is also bullish and optimistic, this is a lot of one-sided volatility fundamentally for UCAD shorts. Now, from a technical perspective, the higher time frames on UCAD, when we are to zoom out here, if I just come look at my chart here, we can see that we're still fundamentally extremely bearish on UCAD, and we're still respecting that bearish market structure, right? Just with how fundamentally the US dollar has been oversupplied and under demand. Now, when we're zooming in to the time frames here, I can see we have had a consolidation phase generating order flow and liquidity with overall bearish market structure on the higher time frames, US dollar weakness, and failures to break the highs by buyers. Now we're starting to see this consolidation and a break to the downside where I would like to target those sells myself as well down to the next higher time frame key level, which I got marked out around 1.2695 area. And then if we break below there, further sells. GJ still running those sells. Anybody still holding their GJ runners? GU buys? Why? Where did you enter your GU buys? Because GU is just ranging right now and is failing to break those intraday highs that it's created on the higher time frames. Your chart talk is way better than troll banter, then you should come join the stream when it actually starts at like 1:30 a.m. Eastern 4 hours ago, because that's what we do the first 3 hours. do I banter or roast anybody the first 3 hours of any stream, or is it straight analysis across pairs, mentor reminders, fundamentals, technicals? That's what I mean. So it's just like usually towards Asian session close when the streams come into an end, if the markets are ranging, then we start to banter and play around a bit, shoot the shit, you know? So GJ still respecting this bearish corrective structure, which is nice. We're going down towards that 144 price point, it looks like. I would like to get this very strong aggressive 4-hour candle closure and then a pullback and retest and continuation down to 144. All right. Look, we're coming towards to retest those previous highs. Mr. Christopher. GJ, even though GJ was slow, right? You can't deny the amount of opportunities GJ gave for sell scalps. Like, come on. The 0.500 break in retest, that wasn't even a clean one. The 1 minute lows break in retest, like it's just a bit below the key level, but that gray block, the amount of break in retest or rejections at the order block low, the retest. So that was pretty clean. GJ was clean. GU with the dollar indecision has been a lot messier in this range overnight, which is like unfortunate. You know what I mean? If we had that US dollar strength, GU would have been a clean sell as well. But that US dollar weakness created indecision with GBP buyers and US dollar. And obviously we just came back into this technical range. We haven't even had a clean break of the previous intraday highs yet as well. We're just ranging up and down. Euro USD gave the breakout entry for the buys at 2087. We wanted these sells with that US dollar strength as well, but obviously we adapted, taken out break even, and adapted to the buys we already had pre-planned anyways. UCAD is starting to break below the low and continue those sell scalps we were looking for after playing in this consolidation range. We just want the next 4-hour candle to retest and continue down, which is in 6 minutes. 4-hour candles closing in 6 minutes. We'll watch those across the board. US30 we didn't touch. GBPUSD we didn't touch. Gold only gave the impulsive breakout entry for a buy scalp up to around like current price point, 20 to 30 pips. So hopefully you guys caught it, even if you took like a L or a break even on GU or Euro USD, hopefully you guys got to adapt or catch a buy scalp on gold or a buy scalp on Euro USD or the sells on GJ. If you did, put a W in the chat, send a like to the stream. I just got to go to the washroom quickly and fill up my water bottle. And we're going to see how these 4-hour candles are closing and how the next ones can open up and what that can potentially set us up for any New York trades. Or if we could just extend some positions you guys got on GJ or gold or EU. All right. So let's see. I'll just be back in a second here. Yeah, remember how we were talking about how bullish gold was? And either we're going to get that pullback, either we're going to get the pullback to retest 1828 and then buys, or we're going to get a consolidation phase and then a breakout above 1844 for the squeeze up the ranges. So we can see that instead of getting an aggressive pullback, we just had a consolidation, more buyer order flow generated in the market, alongside that confirm of that weakness in the US dollar. And then we extended up to pretty much that 49 medium-term zone to zone we're running now, you know? I would like gold to smash 52, the key level, but we would have to break above this price sensitivity area. We've seen a lot of reaction here before around 1849. GJ sells are healthy. Your GJ sell runners, they're still healthy. If you guys left runners risk-free, it's coming to 144. Let's watch the reaction carefully at 144, guys. Because remember, around 144 is those previous intraday highs, right? And G uses the mess. EURUSD is still continuing bullish if people are extending runners. I would like, or if anybody took a buy scalp above the key level, I would like a retest for the following 4 hour. We adapted and got out of those sells like I was talking about. Sorry, I just want to check some of this higher time frame analysis. Look at the reaction from GJ off that higher time, GBPCHF off the higher time frame key level, and once our targets were hit, beautiful. Actually, I'm going to extend this bullish structure because we're still going to be if GBP for CH private members and I guess the YouTube stream, if GBPCHF comes down to 225, this previous intraday order block and bullish market structure retests. After printing these highs and fails to break, this is a very strong sweet spot buy area. If we break below here, you got easy sells down the next range. These are like 100, 150 pip ranges on the higher time frame for GBPCHF. All right. So we're getting some strong reaction at our buy high targets that were hit and seeing buyers exit positions. But obviously, look at this bullish market structure that's been respected since end of December, early December, actually. Very nice, you know, and we're still printing highs. So for an intraday trade, if GBPCHF comes down to this crosshair sniper point, start watching the price action and see if we create a support there. You did a GJ buy and SL hit. You're a fucking retard, a G. Good job, Ajit. Pat yourself on the back as everybody's taking sales in the stream. You did a GJ buy. Give yourself a round of applause. Everybody, Ajit Singh. Round of applause. We gotta give you the harsh reality so you learn from your mistakes, you know? Good job. Good job doing the opposite trade of the stream. I hope you feel satisfied. We said multiple sell entries, but I hope you feel satisfied. I just gotta go to the washroom, everybody. And we're coming towards these 4 hour candles right now. Let's just quickly look at. Let me zoom out here. Very nice bullish price action still, and we're snapping back above that order block, you know? We're coming back above this range after this very strong price grab and failure to break previous lows to the left. So I would like a retest of like 44 and then continuation up. A new 4 hour candle pushed up right now, so it would be ideal for it to push down to grab liquidity and create that lower wick for pre-New York hours. GJ, very nice bearish candle close. Would love a retest of 0.200 and continued sells down, and then watch reactions at those previous intraday highs. We're still respecting this corrective bearish market structure. GU we don't really have to look at because GU like just closed back in that higher time frame range, right? Just closed at those highs. Still very bullish. We did get a retest of those previous highs. I would like another retest, and then if US dollar fades that strength, there's potential for continued GU buys at the key level. Retest the key level, new 4-hour, and this lower time frame bullish structure to maintain it. You can see we just been in this order block for the majority of the night. Euro USD, very aggressive price action, and with that US dollar weakness, a lot of price sensitivity we're starting to dig into here. But with how markets are overall optimistic, like when you're looking at global stock markets, we're still bullish across the board. Even Germany, like it's just having a pullback now at all-time highs. Japan, Asian markets, all bullish across the board. So market optimism is still holding stronger, where if the new 4-hour just retests the key level or that medium zone we're looking at on the 1 minute and fails to break, the US dollar's weak overnight, we are just going to continue back up. And we're going to break out of that corrective structure. I like this on UCAD. I like how the UCAD hourly 4-hour candle closed with this very strong rejection, very nice bearish candle close, and I like how this new UCAD candle is pushing up to give us that retest and doesn't have a lower wick yet. So if we fail to break that area on the lower time frame after this upper wick is created and the US dollar is still weak, there's a lot of potential this candle will flip bearish to revisit that next key level, you know? All right, so I'm just going to keep it on gold, and I'll be back now in a second. If you guys enjoy these streams, make sure to send a like, subscribe, share it around. Follow all of the Capital Hungry free resources. Watch all the Capital Hungry YouTube videos. Remember, we all start dumb. I used to be dumb too. But after putting in a lot of time and effort, I'm not as dumb as I used to be. And all these resources are there at your disposal. The Capital Hungry News Twitter, the Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis channel, and I will be back. All right. Okay, those new 4-hour candles. Just 10 minutes in. All Asian markets are closed from Korea to India, and we're coming towards pre-New York hours. So not too much else going on. GJ is still respecting bearish lower time frame price action and market structure. Potential for the new 4-hour to retest 0.200 and continue down to 144 flat. They're waiting for the two faces to come back. What does that mean? GU just ranging, no breaks of significant highs or lows here. UCAD starting to retest those previous lows and create a bit of a resistance in the lower time frame. EU still going to get that retest of 1.21 key level. Gold looking for a retest of 1844. Let's see some of these headlines. European Union actions. Those carbon permits don't really impact us. Russian Foreign Ministry, China's. Not too many high impacting headlines or economic data. GJ will be bullish in New York. Buy GJ at 144. Yeah, we're watching 144 if we come down here and see how we react. If we fail to break and create a potential support in the lower time frame, showing sellers exhaustion, that is a nice buy area at the retest of those previous highs. But otherwise, if we continue to respect this bearish lower time frame structure and then break below there on the 1 minute, we will do deeper corrections after GJ buyers have printed those highs on the intraday time frames. GU would only be looking for corrective sells if we break below. We've had that high risk rejection at the previous highs again. No problem, Mr. Rudy. Mr. Rudy Ward. Next streams are Tuesdays and Thursdays, London session, except for next week. Do you see NZD/JPY sells? If you guys send a chart, I can look at the charts before we end this stream. It's 5 a.m. Eastern now. We've been streaming for almost like 4 hours. So the GJ trades, the trades that played out were pretty much to summarize. Gold, we didn't touch in this range. The high risk area was at this 1 minute price sensitivity zone, but the safer buy squeeze was the breakout scalps. We were looking at target 49. We're just 4 pips away from there, but nice scalps anyways people got for 15, 20, 30 pips. GJ, we were in a corrective sell bias all night, watching entries below 0.500, below these previous 1 minute lows in the gray box area, as well as below the order block on the 1 minute here as well for continued sells down. GU, we were wanted sells below the key level, but as the some guy in the chat, GU, we wanted the sells below the 1.377 price point. Yeah, those big ball sells at the start on gold here played from like here down to here, 44 to 38. That was like the high risk London sells. But we were primarily in the buyer's bias. Euro USD, we were in these sells for 8 pips, but then price quickly came back to our entry for a break even, and we adapted to the buys with the shift in structure instead in the US dollar weakness. UCAD, we've been actively watching it and waiting for clean rejections below these 1 minute lows and continuation sells down. But yeah, EU scalp, impulsive scalps ran for anywhere from 10 to 30 pips, depending where you entered. If you're following the analysis, GJ has been running for like almost 40 pips now. Gold ran for like 20, 30 pips. It was a fairly nice night once the move started playing out. You know? If you guys want to send any other charts, I can look at them. Yeah, similar idea. We're all very interested in the reactions at 144. Yeah, there wasn't any economic reports or news, but we still had some nice moves. Like GJ slowly kept making its way down, you know? What time is it? Oh, the sell you took, very nice. Break of that low, stop loss above these candle bodies in the previous 15-minute candle. You took it down to the next range, in and out. Did you leave any runners? Or did you just get in and out? An order block is just my terminology for a consolidation zone, a liquidity zone, where you can see from a technical perspective decision being made by buyers and sellers and orders entering the market. So here you could identify a consolidation zone and potential order block on gold here as it peaked highs. We're not breaking below previous highs or lows. So we can't say it's a sell just because you have a resistance here. You're just having liquidity generated in the market to extend for the next impulsive move up, where we went from like 44 up 50 pips, right? The market has its impulsive moves, then corrective moves, and these can be applied to any time frame. Where the corrective moves are usually going to end up being a consolidation phase to generate liquidity and order flow in the market, and or a pullback to push price to a better demand area, then to continue up, right? Yeah, just like you had this lower time frame consolidation order block for this respected squeeze, was a similar idea when we finally broke out of this consolidation. I didn't mean to draw a circle, but and then continue down here, you know, with the overall structure and trend. We just had this macro dip get bought up now because we failed to break previous higher time frame lows, and gold's in that higher time frame range still as well. Like we failed to break these lows, so this dip got bought up, and we're seeing a mirror of price action here. Yeah, other than that, if nobody has any other questions or concerns, what's this? World Health Organization says the study is whether COVID had previous history and was circulating earlier than 2019. Probably. Nothing too serious. If nobody has any other questions or concerns, I'm going to be ending the stream shortly. I'll just look at this last chart here. Or if you guys want to send a chart now. Just because it's the new 4-hour candles, we've been streaming for almost like 3 or 4 hours now. Yeah, we're watching that 144 price point. Very key price point around 144 in those previous highs. Safer sells on higher time frame to revisit these lows would be below there, but be cautious as we could get an aggressive bounce from 144. Other than that, not much else going on tonight. Some nice trades, some nice analysis, some nice banter, and a solid stream. Solid stream, in my opinion. You guys gotta stop worrying about me so much. Oh, this guy sent a chart. Yeah, this is exactly what I just showed you on GBPCHF like 5 minutes ago. You took the same levels I had too right now. You just copied my chart and you sent it back to me. That's what you just did right now. But I agree. If you want me to say I agree, I agree. I agree with you though. All right. Okay, everybody. I'll see you guys. Thanks again. Everybody take care. Appreciate the support. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good evening. Make sure you guys rewatch this. Make sure you guys rewatch these streams, like and subscribe. If you guys rewatch the stream, the first hour and a half of the stream, that's when it's just pure analysis and the trade ideas shared out, and you can really learn a lot from that, all right? So don't forget that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow all the free Capital Hungry resources. If you want more, Capital Hungry Private is still open for signups now, but closing in the near future as we approach our member limit. So everybody take care. Have a good night.